yourself a favor.
Yes.
Come down to lot 73. That's where everything's happening. We got 6 games today to play out. The story today is going to be incredible. And I thought, honestly, Courage, I thought after day 1, it was so exciting. I thought to myself, there's no way that can get better than this. And then day 2 happened, and we had even crazier plays. And then day 3 happened, and we saw Chap versus Tfue multiple times in a single game. We saw players come back from just barely missing out on points in a previous match to absolutely annihilating the follow-up, and people improving their gameplay even on the spot. I'd like to point out players like Tempo, Hysteria, they played in previous days, heats and qualifiers, and we've watched them kind of even evolve as players within just this weekend, realizing the mistakes that they're making. Those are signs of extremely competitive players, but it's not just the competitive side that's represented here. There are one-offs. There are people that we haven't seen on the Summer Skirmish side or competitive plays, scrims maybe you've watched online. There are people that are showing up out of the woodwork, and those stories are ones that are incredibly important as well. I could not be happier if someone that was not tied to any team, anything like that, no disrespect intended to anybody, but imagine one of those guys came away with $100,000+ at the end of the day.
It would be quite the life-changing experience. Either way, there's been so many announcements, so many things going on this weekend. If you've been watching, you know, each day we've been teasing a little bit of the upcoming high-stakes limited time mode, and obviously the getaway and everything coming along with that. Today we have more to show you guys as well. Again, Fortnite presents high stakes. Yesterday we took a first look at the getaway limited time mode and the new item, the Grappler. Today, we've got the free high-stakes challenges and rewards you can unlock for completing them. High-stakes launches this week in Fortnite. See you there. And again, here's a look at them. Deal 500 damage to jewel-carrying opponents. Again, something completely unique. That's the spray you earn, and then pick up a jewel in 5 different matches of the getaway to earn the contrail. I'll look at it there. We saw it in the gameplay yesterday. That looked fire. You complete all the challenges. The brand new pickaxe, the crowbar right there. I'm doing that right away. When that goes live, I'm doing that right away.
So you have to, don't forget to start the stream, Courage. I know you're excited. The LTM will be there, okay? You just got to wait the 2 minutes, get ready, you know, get it into your,
do my little dancing.
Game. Exactly.
No, we'll definitely be live for that. Don't worry. Guys, without further ado, I'd like to begin to get ready for our first game with our look at our finalists, 99 of the best Fortnite players in the world competing here today. What are some big names on this first page, Luca?
I don't even know where to begin with the list of players that are playing today. You have names like Nate Hill and the rest of the Faze clan. In fact, 5 out of 5 players from Faze qualified for these grand finals. 72 hours from Liquid, who we saw put on a show. You don't need materials. You don't even need HP. All you need is a drum gun and a dream, and you can push around outside and rotate on your opponent. The thought processes that go through these players' minds is incredible. You got C9, Alliance, World's Best Gaming, Trouble Boys, and teams, countless teams, Envy. It's incredible.
And then on page 2 here, you see Sentinel's Animal. He was one of the 2 players who have had 10+ Elim games. Ghost Aiden was right there with him as well. Saf, who's done well in the Summer Skirmishes prior to this, continuing to put his name up there. Ghost Bizzle, a big name with that Ghost Gaming organization who've seen so much success this weekend. Heading out of the other side of the list, number 59 spot, Liquid Poach. Arguably a competitive fan favorite to potentially win the event this weekend. We'll see how he performs today. And then this was from last night, and I'm just going to quickly run through. Faze Tempo, Tfue, Hysteria, Chap, J-Omok. You look, C9 Blind is on this list. Flower from Rogue. It does not. And what a stacked lineup we have heading into today, competing for the $1.5 million.
On top of that, you have players that are playing on a controller. You have players that are playing on keyboard and mouse.
Yes.
Nick Merckx is going to put on a show in Tilted Towers. We've seen it before. We'll see it again. And the best part is he's not alone. Aiden was consistently dropping Tilted in his games, which means these two might end up having a little face-off at the beginning of almost every single game if they both trend to where they're used to, where they're comfortable going.
And I know a lot of people were talking to Nick about Aiden, being like, hey, look, a fellow controller player showing up big time, putting up some big numbers. Nick was hearing it, and he wants to go ahead and provide his own stuff. Speaking with Nick actually last night, he mentioned we didn't kind of see the one game he had 6 Elims. He was trailing someone in the storm. Hits him 3 times to drop him to 1 HP, and the storm eliminated them for his 7th Elim. So that's how he missed out on that free final 3rd point. Either way, Nick did well yesterday. So much competition. Let us know who you think's going to take it home. I got to ask you, now that we know our 99 players, Who's the favorite?
I mean, I'm part of Rogue. I got to pull for Double Flower, but at the same time, I mean, you have the list of players is incredible. I'd love to see a number of these guys run into each other. Chap, Tfue, 72 Hours. Imagine all of them in a ball together, stuck in the same one by one. I wouldn't even know where to begin, to be honest with you.
That's the incredible thing about this live crowd. Yesterday, when Chap and Tfue began to kind of battle it out, we would just set the tone. We would swap the perspective, and everyone would take those couple seconds to realize who's about to actually fight, and you'd hear everyone here begin to cheer like, oh my gosh, here we go. Two Titans in competitive Fortnite about to go at it. Again, if you have never watched Fortnite in this style gameplay before, it is very different from your normal, let's play some solos or duos at home. These lobbies will be stacked with players from top to bottom who are at the top 1% in skill, and it changes how it's played too. You're going to see as we get towards those later zones, instead of there being like 10, 15 players left, well, there's going to be like 40, Lupo.
Very different. And like you said, these competitive lobbies, if you're looking to improve your own gameplay, these are the kind of matches to watch. You're going to see people changing their trajectory depending on who's going to be around them. Rotations for these are incredibly important, and players know the trends, where other players tend to go, where to gather the best, the best material locations, still come away with a number of chests. Because dropping directly into POIs is not the most common way to play these. People play safe, especially because top 10 gets you a single point, and 1 and 2 eliminations, while those help with tiebreakers, which don't get me wrong, those are incredibly important, the points matter.
Oh yeah,
points matter big time.
And the crazy thing too is a lot of these guys have experience playing against each other in some of these solo scrim lobbies. They know Liquid Chap likes to land whaling. Tfue likes to land down in the desert area in kind of the outskirts of Paradise. They're going to keep that in mind when they're going for their drops. You saw Tempo the whole day yesterday was going Snobby Shores. Hysteria loves to go Greasy. Nick Merckx loves to go Tilted. You can kind of see how the minds of these players are going to be running with, okay, we know, well, this guy's here, this guy's here. I've got to be a little bit careful on exactly where I drop.
As a competitive player, do you think that they're going to make choices and decide to go to those locations thinking, you know what, I think I can beat Chap or Nick Merckx or whoever trends, like you said, Hysteria goes to Greasy quite a bit. Do you think players are going to choose to go to those locations specifically to try and get an engagement against somebody that they may think they have an upper hand on?
Maybe early on. Maybe early on. We'll have to see. There's Saint, who had a pop-up celebration the other day. Everyone's in the lobby. They're getting ready. A look at the beautiful stations they have there. Folks, the battle bus is launching. It is time. In the next 6 games, we will find out, well, who is a hell of a lot richer. Let's get into it. Game number 1. Who will come out on top? Remember, Victory Royale. You win this game, you automatically win $25,000. But let's be honest, everyone here is already a winner this week.
And you see in the bottom right, we're going to rotate through a number of top performers from the previous qualifiers just to take a look at where everybody's dropping. The map already getting a pretty solid spread. You got a lot of players. I mean, this is a bus straight across the middle, basically, which means everywhere is eligible. Snobby Shores, you see players dropping outside over the coast again to try and get as low as possible.
Ooh, Tilted. Tilted's actually very light landing, only 4 players.
4. One is rotating in from Shifty, actually completely unoccupied. You see one is cutting back over the river, potentially seeing nobody else is going there, saying, okay, I'll gladly take all the loot. Let's go get as many as we can.
There's Tempo and Snobby. No surprise there. Morgoss had some crazy scenarios in his day of playing. If you remember, so low HP, was able to get some limbs when you thought it wasn't possible. 99 players in this lobby, and no surprise here, Aiden is in Tilted. The man who surprised so many people, said the other day was arguably the best day of his life. And look at Nick Merckx, already tagged up and weak and Tilted. We'll keep an eye on him later on, but this is in Viking Village. Saf going up against Cryo. Cryo, if you remember last night, won a coin flip to make it on in today.
We'll have to see here up against Ghost. Saf is an excellent player, very, very good at quick reactions and quick edits, and Cryo hopefully can take advantage of his coin flip. Does not make it out the first game here. Viking Village pretty ruthless when it comes to loot at times. The building's there's a lot of tight quarters. They're playing out in the open though, and the exposure costs Cryo.
And this is Jack from United going up against Bartonologist. You see using that ramp edit to get a clear view. Tries to farm some extra materials, doesn't quite get a chance yet.
See the feed Poach picking up an elimination.
It's on the Povsey as Jack clears out that sight line. Still just watching his back for a second. I don't think, does he know Bartonologist is
he might not
right on the other side of this wall? Yeah, Bartonologist is just looking for the drop here. He's just waiting. It looks like there's an engagement about to go down. Bartnologist peek in the corner. Hasn't jumped out yet.
Well, he's got it.
That blue submachine gun, though, can absolutely shred this early on. He does have a health disadvantage at the moment. Trying to break on in. Maybe get a sight line of his opponent down low. Is he hiding into the pyramid? He is. He uses that time to pop under the shield, it appears. As now you've got to think Jack has a ton of health advantage and gets the hip-fired spread. Beautifully done from him. Yeah, he popped a big shield to go to 200 HP. And that's when it's kind of out of reach for Bartnologist.
It looked like it took just a couple crits there with the AR midair on his opponent, Bartnologist. Now this is the fight. I saw the elimination of the feed, but here's Posey going down to Liquid Poach up here. Ooh, a quick midair burst. The only weapon Poach was sitting on, a gray burst, and that was enough.
Now just north of Flush Factory, you see Takada looking for where exactly Snood could be. Very low on materials. At least he's quite healthy at 175 HP. Snood had a major disadvantage there. Looks like he'll go ahead and just kind of leave this build for now. Maybe try to farm up some trees, get himself some wood here, Lupo, to build.
Didn't want to get caught in a 1v1 in a tight quarter situation against Snood. Not enough materials early game to engage inside a building. Players typically use like a wall or a ramp mid-fight to stop even just a single shotgun blast if the timing is perfect. You saw there quickly the circle, Courage almost perfectly centered, maybe a little south side, which means pretty much everybody, unless you're maybe in Junction or the very top right, the northeast corner is going to have to, they have plenty of time to farm up materials, which means I would expect late game fights to be very competitive. Typically, if the circle is shifted hard to one side or the other, you know, top, bottom, east, west, wherever in its scope, it's very far away from players. Those players are almost easy pickings just because they don't have the materials. And in competitive games, Courage materials you almost choose over anything else.
Turkey Lips, who led day one with eliminations of the qualifiers, looks like he hasn't skipped a beat.
Catches Trouble was X's off guard there through the doorway. Looks like Jay Cuddy's trying to bait with the trap here. Somebody must be in the area. World's Best Gaming's Unicorn rotating around the outside. I think I saw him yesterday wearing actually like a rainbow sweatshirt. It's pretty cool.
Nobody with 2 elims yet. And again, to set the tone for just how crazy these games are, how different they are from what you're used to playing at home. There is still 78 players left in the lobby, and the first zone is about to begin to push. That was Punisher cutting down his opponent there. But yeah, look at that, Lupo. I mean, at home, right? You probably have, what, 35 players left at this point? Maybe 30? 78. I think players are taking the passive route for this start to today.
Now, there's a high number of players that have 1 elimination. Nobody right now has 2 currently. Horrify goes down to Mac from Soar. The accuracy on the shotgun shots from a lot of these players today looks fantastic, which means it's gonna come down to who makes a mistake first.
Goodness. Look at the ramp block from Aiden onto Crunch. He blocks the rocket, it damages Crunch, and then he follows up with the elim there. Aiden still in a good spot. Nick Merck still alive. These two, the 2 kings of Tilted that we've seen so far this week.
It does make me wonder. We've seen players analyze each other's gameplay. Aiden most likely very aware that Nick Merckx goes to, I'm going to be honest, the same building almost every single time. Do you think he's purposely avoiding an engagement if possible?
Listen, Aiden's gone basically everywhere around there, but in the engagement feed, Emat just took down Tempo from last night. Faze, of the 4 games, Faze won 3 of them. This was actually Tyler's in an engagement with Painful PvP, and right now Painful looks like he had all the advantage, and yeah, he did. Tyler's down early. Our kind of outspoken player from yesterday unfortunately drops here early in game 1.
Now there's still 5 games left for these players, even after this one has been completed. So a bad game or 2, it doesn't spell the end.
Is this Nick versus Aiden? Is this Nick versus Aiden?
Shot to Nick Merckx goes down. Aiden says, "Welcome to Tilted."
And there, oh, Aiden letting him know.
I gotta say it, hi Twitter.
That honestly. Right there, folks, is what it's all about. Aiden knowing the reputation of Nick Merckx. Nick now seeing a new controller player trying to claim his Tilted area. And well, I feel like that's a battle we're gonna see a lot today, Lupo.
Psalm building up against, I believe it is it Levake here up in the sky. A lot of layers here, and there's a kind of a third player potentially entering, maybe 3 or 4. They're very exposed right here. I'm surprised. I was going to say, I'm surprised no one has begun shooting down the structure here. It looked like it was built extremely vertically. They're kind of exposed.
Yep.
Psalm's got to be very careful that it doesn't look like he has a bounce pad. I would expect him to kind of have it out. Aiden has just claimed Tilted Towers as his own. Takes out.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Ecstatic.
There are about 15 players at least who have won a limb in this game. Aiden, the only one at 3, has earned our first point today. Aiden continues his tear as he has claimed Tilted Towers. We said 4 people landed there at the start of this game. Everyone was eliminated by Aiden as he's now at 3.
The zone is starting to, it's going to have to start pushing players in. You're going to see people that are, this is kind of the beginning of the mix-up. You know, chaos typically happens. The storm closing now. We're going to see where the next circle is. It's centered over Tilted Towers, which means Aiden doesn't even have to move.
He's big chilling right now. There's a drop coming on in as well. Aiden's thought process, it looked like he basically said, you know what? I know Nick Merckx is going to go big gray. I'm going to land at double L's, loot big red, loot the new building, and then once I have everything I could ever want, then I'll challenge Nick at big gray. And it worked out perfectly for him there. He's still maxed on HP. Here's Boyer, who we just saw pop a medkit to get to full health. Over to Marcides now on the edge of the football or soccer stadium. So he's trying to spot this player. You hear listening for those audio cues. It's actually WVG Punisher who took down Tfue earlier on.
In the feed, Tfue takes an elimination there on Powder from Alliance. That is his first elim. Poach still has one. The list of players that are sitting on 1 elimination now is monstrous. Jay Cuddy actually has 2, but still Aiden, the only one, you see the board there, only one with 3. The only player with a single. Aiden actually just picked up his 4th elimination, which puts him 1 away from a 2nd point.
I mean, can this man be stopped?
Engagement down here, though. He's trying to drop the structure down. Looking, you see that you can even hear the fall damage right there. That should be a cue.
He caught on the 1 layer of a ramp, though, which kept the high ground for his opponent. And now Marcides knows just how tough of a situation he's in. Trying to get the quick edit to peek on out. Oh, can't get the structure shut down in time. He's wearing a great shirt, though, so I'll give him that either way. Punisher with the elim.
Style matters, but the points are everything, Courage. Unicorn, Sakairos, very small. They're 2 floors away from each other. This is Aiden's 4th elimination earlier. A rotation in and lasers. Absolutely lasers. That gold AR is incredibly powerful. A Chap building up here. It did look like Aiden picked up a Chug Jug right as he cut away, which means he's full health, full shield, ready for the next engagement. He's still safe inside the zone, but Chap here just on the west side of Dusty Divot, stuck in a 1v1, but we've seen Chap build. We've seen Chap take advantage of height and all of the structure here that he has ownership of, and we're going to watch players still continue to do that. They're going to break out anything they can. Take ownership of it. He puts the pyramid up to block any push. The player underneath, just trying to keep Chap away. And I'm going to be honest with you, Courage. A player like Chap, I don't think that's necessarily going to work.
No.
Chap is going to look for an angle, the weak spot in his players, the way that they're developing this strategy against him. He's going to take advantage of it. I almost expect at this point maybe a drop down, a knockout, and Chap to go just for a shotty shot on mid-air. He's got dualies as well.
Quickly to mention, E-United's Jack just knocked out Liquid Poach from this first game. So Poach eliminated with about 61 players left. This is by far the slowest game we've had to this point this week. With how many people are still in play. Here goes the battle. Chap versus this enemy inside Dusty Divot. Both players getting hit heavy, and oh, Kayoon. Well, Chap falls right on into the window, and well, Kayoon's shotgun wins that engagement there. Both players, it looked like we're going for the floor replacement. Kayoon got it and dropped Chap in. Now the rift to go, typically not necessarily taken by your opponent, but Dremen says, you can't get away from me. He's going to drop down. He also had the zone pushing.
Fly in. Yeah.
He had the zone there as well. Might as well just go ahead and skirt on out of there. Tilted Towers looks like it will soon be the only thing in play. And folks, Aiden has 10 minis and a Chug Jug. Could not ask for more shield healing. He's near maxed on each type of material. Gold heavy shotgun, gold legendary assault rifle, sorry. I mean, this man is set up for success here.
Lavic rotating around the outside, drops on the outside. Looks like Sakairos didn't see him drop on the outside, place the platform, and the shotgun shot there secures an elimination just outside the zone, too. iLChase taking shots, trying to drop the structure of his opponent before they rotate in. He's just hanging out outside the storm, but it's only ticket for one, so it's not enough damage to worry about, but he has to build himself in. His opponent got a top down on him, got the height advantage, but he has an ability to edit out. Going to take ownership of that ramp in the middle, or at least just get it out of the way so his opponent doesn't have it. Building these little catacombs, trying to, it's a way to have your opponent lose track of your location. The replays from Faze, he's still on top of him. Still watching, trying to grab. These players are fighting back and forth constantly for who owns what surface. The shots coming in through the angle to edit there, and replays gets quite a bit of damage, maybe enough to push in, and he does. The shotgun and a fight inside the box and takes iLChase out. 2 eliminations for replays now. Beautifully done by replays. He'll be rewarded with a med kit to get the full HP. While this was going on, 0 players have yet to hit 3 elims outside of Aiden. And while that fight was going on, Aiden actually moved up to 5 eliminations now at 2 points earned this game. Jay Cuddy just earned his 3rd elim to put him at 1 point as well. Apparently, Aiden's 5th elim was actually a trap that he left behind in a building in Tilted, and someone ran right through it. That's not the first time he's done that either. During his qualifiers, that his 8th elimination in the 2nd game came from a trap as he was rotating to the west.
Remember, that is incredible.
I love those
8 elimination 2nd game heading west.
I specifically remember where it happened too.
Okay, Looper, jeez. It's that dad brain right there. You're showing it off. I love it. As Aiden, he's got another player close. He's got a launch pad at his inventory as well. Tilted will be out of play soon. You see, as he enters each room, he checks the roof for any traps. Make sure he can't sprint on in.
In the feed down there, replays from Faze going down to Kayun, who just took out, I believe, Liquid Chat before that. That is a stack of eliminations to be proud of right there. Jack from EU with 3 elims, Jay Cuddy still 3 elims, and Aiden with 5. That's 3 players currently with points. Aiden having 2, the others 1 apiece. Looks like Aiden has a player on the inside and here trying to take ownership of the wall so he can get the edit off. They're just holding on tight. He's going to have to rotate around potentially on top or push up the stairs, change the angle of engagement. Pro players are typically very aware, these highly competitive players, very aware of appropriate times to disengage and get it up another angle, but Aiden gets dropped out from underneath. His opponent just lasering down any structure he's got. The AR shots, it's not as fast as an SMG, but it's enough to take structure out. Aiden's only building 1 layer at a time. The third party from behind, maybe tunnel visioning on the opponent that was in front of him, just pushing, losing track of the fact that somebody else was watching. There are other players there. You got to start looking for those little towers.
He's playing for having as much health as possible for the next fight. Gonna chug here for the extra 50 shield, as there's a ton of fights going on around him. That was Boyer who just cut down Cease. You got Lanane from Envy down there in the river. Does Aiden continue this aggressive play? Looks like he will. He wants this right away, Lupo.
Tyler's even analyzed it earlier in the interview. This is Coyotes, we mentioned it earlier in the feed, eliminating replays, and here's the actual engagement. Taking a top down here, he's going for ownership of these structures so he can get the edit. These are my walls, and he wants the shot whenever he wants the shot. Here it is, 153.
Can't ask for much more from your shotgun. Right there, as we head back to the action, you're Tilted. Looks like Aiden's trying to build on up and match his opponent. Boyer, I think, has slipped on out of that lower box. He will have to move quite far for this next zone. This end game really near 0 areas of interest. You see kind of in the river, and how awkward is this? It's 2 cliffs and a low valley.
Look at how dense this circle is. This rotation is going to cut a lot of players out.
There's 49 players left. 49.
This is the most we've seen, I guarantee you, at this circle. 53 seconds and people have to move, and this is potentially a time for Aiden to shine. He might be on the outside of the circle, Jack, but you have an option here to not worry about placement, go for 2 more eliminations and secure 3 points very early in this event. It could be big.
Here's Vape Jesus, one of our players on the verge of earning 3 elims. All these players stacked up in these builds. It's like Saf's in a fight here, dropped to just 50 HP, but he does have a slurp ticking.
Just so people are aware, looking at the map right now. Oh, the rocket from Saf down through the edited hole gets Vape Jesus underneath him. That's 2 eliminations. But on the map right now, there's 1 player on the far west side that is not moving. I would almost anticipate it's somebody that has a rift to go. Brandon from GS, who came in second in an engagement against 72 Hours. We saw that outside of the zone rotation on Brandon, but he's saying this is my time to shine. He's trying to track Bizzle down and Fuzzy simultaneously. 3 players stuck in the structure, and he's going to tunnel his way out. That the layers over the top to protect from any above shot. Waiting, the jump shot on Fuzzy gets his first element. Brandon's going to maybe look for his second. Here's shots come in. He's rotating inside the storm. It's such an important piece of this is to maintain forward movement. Ooh. You don't want to get caught outside. Players will take advantage of that.
Remember, that opponent now hears that audible shield tag, knowing his shields are gone. I'm down to just normal HP now. Going to go ahead and wait on out as he'll have to back up. I think the tree kind of blocked him on his rush on up there. Down to 42 players left in the lobby. This game is going to escalate very, very quickly. I can promise you that. Brandon just sitting inside this box. Used all his materials though, Lupo. Down to just 32. He's got no shields left. This is one of those awkward scenarios where he's just hoping people forget about him.
Jack, there's 42 players left in the circle, and it's time to move. North side is where everybody's got to go, which means if you're in the south, like Sinfully here, you're going to have to fight your way out and see what you can do. Rockets coming in. There's going to be a lot of this happening. People going for splash damage eliminations. Take out any structure they can, and Hysteria trying to get an elimination at the zone there, but Saf secures it on Sinful. 0 elims thus far for Hysteria. And look at these players. They're all poised to strike on each other, waiting for literally anybody to move, anybody to make a mistake. And we've got 60 seconds left and 40 players still alive.
Hysteria played in each day of the qualifiers to get to this point. Wind up getting in late last night and basically the final game. Here with a ton of materials left, he's just trying to peek on out and find this basically free elim as he's looking to maybe third party a fight. Does get heavily tagged twice. Not happy to be in this scenario now, I can promise you that.
He's got enough materials maybe to push against this here for a little while. 38 remaining, 30 seconds left until the zone moves, and then I'm telling you, when this thing starts, this is when chaos ensues. The zone move is one of the deadliest moments in games like this.
And it's down this mountain too for all these players up top.
Everybody's got to slide.
Yeah. Jumpman does have 2 launch pads, which I'm expecting him to use here. He's going to fly right on into the next zone. He's already got the natural height over it. Here, continuous tags. I think that is Hysteria being sprayed by like 3 or 4 people right now. United's Jack just got his 4th elim of the game as he's looking to catch up to Aiden. Aiden was eliminated earlier on. We've now got 5 players with a point on the board. Looks like these were 2 players fighting earlier on, Lupo and Shifty.
This kind of shows just how
they both fell.
Don't stick the landing on the way in. This kind of shows how players are.
Oh no! Oh no!
You see in the feed, Jumpman eliminating Aiden. We at least know
he hit his head
went down to
on a tree and was knocked down. Here's that move we mentioned, down into the river. What an ending to this first zone. Hysteria there. You see the shotgun elimination on the knees. 32 players still remaining. Typically at this point, we're at like 13, 14 players. And we're at 31.
This is a good example of how high the nerves are here.
He just got a drop.
We have cheers from the crowd here for that one.
He's got remote explosives and a rocket.
That's huge. Against all the players that are playing incredibly slow, they're all built up in structures. Explosives are going to be, I mean, that could be game-changing. He could come away with a bunch of eliminations, even just to knocking structures down with that. And he's going to start pushing up. He's going to get up top of his zone. He owns all of this, too. You see he's making quick edits on pretty much every piece he's moving through. And this is Hysteria's first elimination thus far today in game 1. An opponent, surprise, falls inside and catches Nice off guard.
You know, that's when the double barrel is quite good, just as a pro tip, when they're inches in front of your face.
Literally right there.
Yes. Here we go, folks. Our move to our next zone about to begin.
27
Tfue
players.
has been inching across all of this build. I was wondering how he was going to do this with little materials. Somehow he's claimed this entire top area, it seems. Nate Hill still in it. J-Omoc still in it. Here we go. This game is about to escalate very quickly. The moves coming from everybody now. Chris 2 elims. Can he earn his 3rd to put a point on the board? Gorilla just cut down J-Omoc. You see Nate Hill using the bounce pad. Everyone surging forward. The common enemy of everyone is this storm. And you can see they're all afraid with how much damage it does. Somehow Tfue not being shot. He's made it on in and secured a nice little full structure to heal on up.
Literally no one wants to engage anybody else right there. You saw Tfue drop the C4. I think the idea is if somebody's pushing up underneath him, he can edit it out and drop the C4 down. Brandon gets caught off guard, and Jack secures his 6th elimination and a med kit.
He's got a med kit now. He's got to use this right away. The zone is 25 seconds. Pop that med kit, get above 6 HP. Tfue one elim away from earning himself a point. Remember, top 10 in the game earn themselves a point as well.
No fall damage. Honestly, kind of surprisingly, so many explosives.
He's out of materials. I think he's just got to kind of go for this. That's all of his mats left.
One more elim is a point for Tfue, and he's going to look for one. There's still 10 players that are that have to go down before rank matters for points, which means now's the time, and he gets it, catches Shrugs off guard through a little tiny window. That green drum gun coming in, and another one. Tfue going for his 4th elimination.
He's got to move. The zone is there. He's got to move. He's trapped on in. Tfue choking on out. The storm ticking for so much. And there he goes. Tfue out from game 1 as the storm claims another victim.
You got Nate Hill basically sitting on nothing, no HP, no shield in the bottom, and he had some minis. He's going to patch himself up. When Nane's stuck inside, basically in the middle of the, there's a player sandwich here. 11 left, one more goes down, and everybody that's left alive gets 1 point minimum.
Whoever is elim next, heartbreaking stuff, as they will be just on the verge of a free point. I know one thing, Nate Hill has no plans of peeking on out with that little HP left. 3 medkits for Morgoth. You've got to think he's in a good spot if this goes to a heal-off. Uh-oh. Fight about to go down. Morgoth with a shot. There it is. We're now into our top 10. A quick trade.
Trades happening back and forth.
The hype there, that was 3 elims, and he made it to the top 10. That's 2 points there. lGRAND, we mentioned, you can have all sorts of play styles. This one, not go for any fights. He's in 6th place with 0 elims, but he's out of mats. He's full of the bottom. It's time to rip back up.
He pulled 2 other players with him. 3 are on their way down from the top.
Pulling right away.
He's gonna. I think the goal is to try and land as fast as possible.
No, he's gonna rip again. Oh my God! No! Oh. That was almost 200 IQ. It could come back to bite him.
Gets the shot on Gorilla.
Top 5.
Top 5.
Trades going down. Nate Hill with an elim. Prodigy Aces. Looks like he's got the high ground right now. Only 1 elim to his name. Remember, top 3 earned 2 points. He's made it. 2 points now earned. So many medkits. The storm is pushing on in. This is it. I believe it's going to come down to a heal off right now. Player shooting from above. He doesn't have time to heal. It's Nate Hill, and I don't think Nate has any health left. He's got 1 HP. He's trying to break down. He doesn't have the time. This should be it. He's got 1 extra tick of HP. And there's the victory for lGRAND. As he can't believe it, it was 18 health to 1 health. Literally 1 tick of the zone made the difference, and the sigh of relief there. Congratulations. That's a 3-point game.
Absolutely ridiculous. Nate, at this point, his only option was to try and shoot or pickaxe his way down, get a shot in the fall, and it didn't matter. lGRAND had a layer ahead above him. There was no option there.
He was done for anyway. You saw trying to pickaxe down. He was getting that thing where it just wasn't letting him actually hit the structure, which made him have to panic shoot. He didn't have a shot there anyway. 1 HP. If he gets that elim and drops those medkits down a little bit earlier on, as the zone's closing, he might have time to pop the full 10-second medkit, but there was only like 9 seconds left on the clock. So 1 tick would have dropped him, and he knew that. He had to go for it. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out for him there.
Jack, if the rest of the games today go like this, I don't know if I can handle it. This has been, we saw more players alive per circle than we've ever seen in any of the previous games, and players are trying to play so securely. They're holding hands during rotations. You saw Tfue got walled out from an opponent that he was chasing up because they were putting layers and layers down behind them just as an effort to stop anybody from getting in. It wasn't an aggressive engagement. It was defensive play to see if the Storm could take any more eliminations, with them closer to a top 10, even for just 1 point.
Well, back in game 1, it all began with Aiden raining terror on the tilted towers. We've got to look back at that to begin. Look at this ramp to block the rocket, the quick follow-up, and there it is. The player, I think, tried to porta-fort, but unfortunately landed above him. And then Aiden, once he got to full HP, said, you know what, I know exactly where Nick Merckx will be, and I'm going to go for it right off the bat. Nick only able to tag him for 7. The crowd definitely made some noise there, as he didn't stop at all. He continues to hold forward. He wants to bring the fights to his opponents and get right in their face.
That's multiple window peak engagements from Aiden, taking advantage of every little bit of cover he could. Catches another player off guard as they rotate in through a building. You saw they went for the defensive build too to block him out, but it wasn't enough. The 72 damage crit, it'll almost jar players. That amount of damage that fast, it's the same effect as maybe getting hit by a hunting rifle shot or a sniper during a rotation. You get frazzled very quickly, and you'll see players build defensively, and sometimes it's not enough, especially when you have accuracy like that.
Oh, for sure. And that's just the look at some of Aiden's plays. There's obviously so many other players out there. Kayun had, I believe, eliminated Chap, then went on to take down Replays as well. So 2 bigger names. This was the battle versus Chap that we followed for quite a little bit. It was the one window edit that drops Chap on in. Come on, my friend, and Chap was not ready for it at all.
See versus Replays the box inside, and Kane's trying to take advantage. He'd take ownership of the structures above. He goes for it and forces kind of a rotation out. Players will see ownership change in the structures, and they'll make moves to get away to say, okay, you think I'm inside there and I'm not anymore. And Replays caught off guard. Almost Kane saw ahead. He predicting other players' movements is huge for these guys, and couldn't pull it off that time, but a valiant effort. He earned 3 eliminations. That's a single point, and he should feel fantastic about that. That's more than we've seen in the previous qualifiers, people that have advanced to today. So every point counts. Every point counts.
Yeah, well, we actually, at the end of the game, had a crazy, crazy little rift to go play. And remember, when you pop that rift, it's like a little verticality element to it. Well, pull people in with you. So he drops on down. lGRAND uses it, sucks 2 people up with him. Then you see here, it was Nate, lGRAND, and Prodigy Aces. lGRAND decides, I'm going to drop on down to try to take the rift again to resecure the high ground. And literally the second he goes to sprint into it, it goes away. Shortly after, he does get that elim, but then it's traded fight, or sorry, it's what keeps him alive then to stay alive and then go on to win that game. That was the one elim he needed.
The awareness from Gorilla right there, even though he didn't get the elimination, just the second he heard the mini get popped, the sound of the shield, he opted to edit the stairs, push in through, and try and go for the elimination, and lGRAND, the accuracy, and that double barrel, it just hits like a bus.
It most certainly does. I actually do believe we have lGRAND, our Victory Royale winner from Game 1. We forgot to mention, he just won $25,000. I don't even know if he knows. We'll go ahead and throw it on over to Zeke in the players area.
What's up, guys? Awesome cast. I am here with lGRAND, who just, as you witnessed, he riffed on the goat 3 players, and he gets the victory out. You just won $25,000. How are you feeling, man?
Man, that was amazing. I didn't think I was going to win, but the guy ended up dying to fall damage, and I got it. So, oh, bro. I don't know.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the next few games?
Yeah, I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try to win another one, but I'm glad with what I already did today, so.
Now, did you know that you were going to rift those 3 players? Because everyone at PAX is watching this, right? And so the moment you jump down, you activate the rift on the go, literally PAX erupts because they're like, you just pulled 2 other people, you dive down, and you take someone else out who's like, oh, there's a rift here, and then you just blast them. How did you know they were there?
No, I just knew I didn't want to die, so I did it. And I saw 2 people with me, so I'm like, well, I'm going to try to go down. And it worked, so.
That's awesome, dude. Any strategies you've got going on going into the next few games?
I'm just trying not to die. I'm playing for placement, so just going to try to survive as long as I can.
Dude, best of luck. Congrats on the Victory Royale for the first and the $25,000, dude. Good luck in the rest of the games. Courage.
Boys, brilliant, brilliant stuff. You mentioned $25,000 richer, but lGRAND sticking to his kind of game plan. I want to survive. I'm playing my life, and it worked out perfectly there. Literally the only elim he had to get, he was forced. Like, he had no option but to fight him there.
Yeah, and it's funny, the playing to stay alive, it seems like he's not the only one. We've seen circles with 40, 50-plus players remaining, and the number of builds that happen during a storm rotation, when the circle starts to move, that's one of the deadliest moments in the game. You literally see the field get cut in half
100%.
because people we saw multiple players eliminated by fall damage at the same time, rotating over Shifty. We saw people landing inside boxes next to each other, not realizing that there's 1, 2, 3 players above them, and they're forced into engagements. And right now, I feel like people don't want that. People are trying to avoid fights because there's a chance if they miss a shot, if they don't build at just the right time, any little mistake is gonna cost them.
So something tells me this isn't the last time we're going to see these last zones go down to the storm claiming the final elim, right? I feel like this is going to be the theme of today.
Strap in. It's going to happen more than once. And honestly, it's so exciting and so hectic. There's so much happening. The top-down angles that we're getting on these it's incredible because you can really see it's a stampede of players pushing to try and get inside the next zone. And it's not always shots that are determining who stays alive, who makes it to the top 10 and gets a point. It's appropriate builds. It's intelligent positioning. It's foresight and reading your opponents, and it's happening every single time. These players are processing information so fast.
So much stuff going on. It's crazy. As we get the next lobby ready, we will be hopping into game number 2 very, very shortly. I can see it getting updated on my screen. But there's so much stuff going on. Families here attending this event. We actually caught up with a father and son Fortnite fans. Let's hear what they had to say.
My name's Sean Shevlin, and my gamer tag is YoungPrism98912. We're from the Portland, Oregon area, and this is my son, Rylan, and he plays under the same gamer tag, but he earns all the points. So you had heard about it at school?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he kept begging me and begging me and begging me to play. So finally I told him if he did his homework for 2 weeks straight and didn't whine about it, we would download it and he could play. And so we did that, and he started playing, and now I play a pretty good amount with him, and I teach high school math also, and so I brought it into my classroom actually a lot, and the kids love it. So like this week we did a lesson on graphing, and I took the Fortnite map and we did quadrants and we graphed on there. So that was another reason I came up, was I was like, I'm going to tell all my students that I competed in Summer Skirmish. My go-to strategy is camping. Where do you like to land?
Tilted Towers.
Oh, my favorite gun, the bolt action sniper, because I am a terrible shooter. So if I can't get you in one shot, I'm probably dead.
I like the clingers because you can just like throw it at someone and it just like sticks them, and then they just blow up.
Really want to win $5,000. I feel like I might have a chance of making it through some qualifiers, and maybe I can get there. So
you're gonna get wrecked.
Absolutely awesome stuff to see there. I wish I was able to use Fortnite in my high school math, but instead it didn't go well.
It's okay. It's okay.
You're casting.
No shame in hiding behind the desk, Courage. That's fine.
There we go. Awesome father-son duo there. Hope to be able to meet them here as PAX West continues. As we get ready for game number 2, I see everyone in the lobby. We have to update you guys on the standings. Remember, $1.5 million on the line today. And here's where we stack up after game 1. Landjock won a limb, but the Victory Royale gives him the advantage over Nate Hill. United's Jack, 6 limbs that first game, leading the lobby just above Aiden. 2 members from Envy in the top 8 as well, and Tfue in that 10th spot.
Already a plethora of players with even just 1 point, all the way up to 17th place. And then after that, eliminations decide, as well as their placement. The tiebreakers came in pretty big previously. It was running around in the player area. You have to remember, too, if you're watching, the player area is completely separate from where we are, so they can't hear us at all. But what they do know is shortly the bus is launching, game 2 beginning. Courage.
This is absolutely crazy here. I'm looking around. People are enjoying the Der Burger free food. There is a line down the block in hopes to get in here. It's gone from standing room only. I'm pretty sure people are just laying on top of each other at this point in hopes of being able to watch. It is a blast here right now. The energy in this crowd is insane. And ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Game 2 starts right now.
east to southwest trajectory. Wailing Woods pretty close to the beginning of the bus, which means a handful of those liquid players, they do tend to the northeast corner of the map. They're going to get down pretty quick, which means I expect to see them in the feed earlier than other players if they do land in a kind of a hotter drop. Retail, and you have people floating down to Paradise already. Fatal is going to get occupied. I'm curious if the Cube is going to come into play again at some point of the course of the day. We're just getting started.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. So you see a beautiful look at that free camera, just watching around where people are going. Landjock says, I just want to stay alive. And apparently staying alive means landing near Tomato Temple.
Flower, I think, picking up potentially the first elimination of the game gets Prodigy Aces. Topboy and Fade both picking up an early elim as well in landing zones.
And right there, instantly picking up the ammo box. That's something that's actually so key in these games because we reference ammo so often. And what, already a three-person rift use? In a panic situation, it looks like, if I had to guess, Cryo started engaging people with this TAC shotgun. And then they popped a rift to try to get out. One of the enemies popped a rift to get out, and it looks like it was a good way to disengage the fight. They'll live to see another day.
Cryo, you have to remember, was the player that won the coin toss from day 3 qualifiers. Hoping to put on a good show. That coin flip determined whether or not he was making it in here. Gave a coin flip for $5,000 as well, no matter what place he lands. GS Brandon here, a number of players landing here at retail, and they kind of all chose their own home and said, okay, I'm going to loot everything here before I push out. Everybody else, please stay inside your homes as well. It's like a gentleman's agreement almost sometimes. You very rarely see someone drop in at a house in retail and competitive games, get even just a single chest, and then immediately push to engage, because you might be missing out on other loot in the house. They're going to take their time, smack all the furniture inside the house. Hysteria here. We talked about Hysteria lanes greasy very consistently.
It's our spot. We're the greasy boys.
Northwest corner, and actually the first circle, kind of a northwest focus.
I'd probably fire. But no, either way, over towards the racetrack. Multiple clingers coming on out. Remember, clingers recently updated. Now act a little bit differently when you stick 2 on a wall. As instead of them both instantly exploding, once the first explodes and destroys the structure, the second will fall down from there and then cling on to the next thing that's there. So instant explodes are a little bit tougher to have happen now. That's Tyler's from yesterday, just backing on up. Didn't have the best game 1, looking to rebound here.
Punisher in Pleasant Park. We had a look earlier. It looked like roughly 4 players were out here. You see there, wow, what a quick swap from the player inside the box. Punisher takes control of the wall, but his opponent re-angles the ramp inside to act as like a second layer to protect him just from that window peek that Punisher was going for. An excellent play there from Rio, but he's going to rotate around underneath, and Punisher is tracking him, falling, trying to get another wall replacement. Rio staying on top of ownership of those surfaces, and Punisher's going to have to find a second angle, and he almost does the window there, but Rio's edit there. He swaps and changes the angle of the ramp to act as protection from Punisher's push.
Yep.
Punisher's going to have to find a good angle here. Rio's clearly on top
right here.
of his edits. The top down.
They actually bounce off each other. Punisher swapping back to the shotgun. Another tag. They're both so low.
How many HP?
38. Rio with the elim. He'll go ahead and bandage on up. This is Wheats. Wait, what?
The Kobe nade kill shuts it down. A single one gets
the
Chris.
Grenade kill from 81 meters.
Goes for a second. If he gets this, are you kidding me?
No, there's no way.
Close,
okay,
close. Aiden, Tilted Towers. Not surprising, which means Nick Merckx.
Oh my goodness.
1v1 round
again.
2.
This is going to happen all day. Aiden, each time he's fought Nick so far, has been at max HP. He continues to put himself in great positions to have the advantage. Nick now waiting, listening, knowing it's got to be Aiden nearby. These guys know what skins they wear. They know the routes they like to take. You'd think whoever wins this fight will claim Tilted Towers for this game. When Nick hears that chest open, he knows exactly where Aiden is. Here comes the engagement again. So far, Aiden eliminated Nick back in game 1, and Nick looking for vengeance right now, trying to spray on down with the LMG. Aiden building walls. Nick in the engagement. The tag. The shield's now gone for Aiden. Nick with the advantage up to this point. He's got to push the agenda here. The crowd getting behind Nick Merckx. You hear the chant going out of the background. Nick has matched the bill. build. Aiden with the high ground. Nick 132 HP. I believe Aiden has just a little bit less. But as I say that, you see Nick with a little bit of a grimace there as he gets tagged for 60. The 1v1, the quick block there. The battle of the century. Two of the best controller players in the world going at it. Aiden down to 2 health. He's gonna have to big shield here. Nick wants this fight. I can tell you, he wants to tie this 1v1 battle up at 1-1. Aiden now on the high ground of the building. Nick, I believe, is disengaging for the moment. I'm sure he heard that big shield, Lupo, and that might have been enough to scare him off. What comes to the chest to slurp as the crowd knows just how good that'll be. That'll put him up to 77 HP as they've just disengaged. They'll both live to see another day. Oh my goodness, Lupo.
Players of this caliber, are you kidding me? Players of this caliber trading shots like this, disengaging. We're going to see these two, I guarantee you, before this circle closes, the next time. They will end up having to fight each other again. Round 3 almost, and Aiden's going to drop on the outside. These drop downs, placing the floor to stop himself from taking any fall damage. He's going to end up 176, 177 HP total here.
I feel like this crowd is fine with just a $1.5 million Nick Mercs and Aiden only in Tilted tournament.
1v1 in Tilted
I'm all for
day.
It. As they're both going to go ahead, reset. They're the only two here, I think.
You have a couple
There's
players
a couple people now
on
entering.
the outside.
But that's why they're just like, there's so much loot still on the map that they know, oh, this hasn't been touched, this hasn't been touched. Will they come across each other again soon? Last we saw, Nick still didn't have shields. Here's 72 hours. Let's see how this went for him. He's got the Chug Jug ready to go. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, that is... just a heads up, that's not good, actually. Blowing yourself up with a Glimmer. Oh, replays with a quick scope the other day. Feels some of the counter shot there from Painful PvP.
We've got Flower from Rogue. 2 eliminations already, which means the third one will pick him up a single point. Aiden still back here.
Oh my goodness.
But round 3.
Round 3.
Nick Mercs versus Aiden, 2 controller titans hanging out in Tilted Towers.
Here's the thing though, Nick has no shields. He basically needs Aiden to walk on into the double barrel and say hello. He's waiting. They are 1 pixel away. Aiden charges in. The spray! Aiden again at 20 HP. And this crowd erupts again.
Look at the loot next to him too. He already has a rip to go, a second rip to go on the ground, and the bait to swap there.
If Nick has any shields or if Aiden doesn't have 200 health, you gotta think it's done. And look at Nick, realizes just how close he was. Aiden chant going out. There was a Nick Mercs chant. This is the battle of everything right now in these early games.
Absolutely unbelievable. The launch pad and escape against Laser. Dremen trying to make it away, but the accuracy of whoever, the multiple players down there in Salty Springs say it's not time to leave yet. You got to come back, and he's going to have to box himself in, make numerous layers so he can get a couple of these heals off. He has a slurp, multiple minis, so he can get a good buffer back up, but there are people around him. He's got Wheats underneath. Vactor's taking shots from a distance over there. He has an opportunity now. Looks like they left him alone. Now, this is Tyler's, a player we've had our eyes on after previous gameplay, but we'll see here. Jay Cuddy, accurate shots from underneath. The SMG spray just right on point, and a rocket off the wall. As Tyler tries to layer, you saw he went for the floor placement there. Wasn't enough, not fast enough. X's from Trouble Boys building up in a 1v1 against Tempo. A very, very good player here. Both of these guys,
I love
excellent builds.
Every time the crowd sees that one of the names involved in the fight, they just go, oh my God, you know, like, they just know how much it means. I thought he was going to try to style with that hunting rifle for a second.
Backing out.
In the elimination feed, Weeds goes down, Sakairos goes down, and Mac also falls. The lobby down to 59 players left. The second zone about to begin to close.
At this point, 30 seconds. The choice of engagement here, if neither players have 2 eliminations, I don't think either of them want to fight each other. You're going to see an early rotation out from like your Tempo deciding now's the time to move. This isn't good for either of us. Let's move forward.
Saw that big shield. This is Takada in a fight with someone here. It's actually Nate Hill, and has the instant beam to earn the 3 elims too. Nate Hill, if you saw, was in that top 5, or I believe actually second after game 1. Does fall early here, but even though he does fall early here, Lupo, he's still in a brilliant position I'm sure, in our standings after this.
1, 2, 3, even 3 bad games, not necessarily the end of the road here for these players, because 6 games, anything can happen. We've seen multiple people shine in the qualifiers.
Wow.
People come from behind, even like players like Saint, who didn't even engage very often. He had no eliminations, but managed 3 points during his qualifiers to make it to the grand finals today. It's still anybody's game. Going for the snipe midair. Are you kidding me?
And as you guys saw for a second as we pulled up the map, this is a Loot Lake ending. Kayun continues to fight these big names and continues to come out on top, as Poach just got sniped by Kayun to be eliminated in game 2.
That's Kayun's second elimination, which means 1 point soon for him if he manages the third.
Fails the build.
Drop down.
Uh-oh. He does have medkits. He can survive through the storm, but that's a quick tag down to 70. The battle coming on in. The pump does not connect. He's got to reset for the high ground. He knows it as he looks to build on up. Remote explosives!
Perfect placement in the middle. That Dremin walks right in it.
And you see the frustration there. Dremin, first elim on the board.
Now, currently there are 2 players with 3 eliminations, Top Boy and Takata, which means a single point apiece for them.
But
Kayun
actually,
has a point
as you mentioned, Top Boy just got knocked out. So both players with 3 elims just dropped.
A plethora still with 2. We have 5 players currently alive with 2 eliminations there you see on your board. A lot of them relatively close to the zone, except for Rio, 400 meters away still. He's sitting pretty on HP and shield, but he's going to have to rotate relatively quickly. Might have been the most replaced structure I've seen at the factories there at Loot Lake. We took a look for a second, but Horrify stuck up top, taking a moment. Any seconds he has to pop any heals possible, they're going to go for it. And he tried to place the bounce pad on the way down to prevent any fall damage. Didn't need to. Takes the bounce pad in that situation though. Tries to rotate away. Gets tagged midair as this 1v1 against X is kind of flirting with the edge of the zone. X is going to try and layer up so he can sneak in underneath Horrify, and Tempo is there as well.
And this is a beautiful spot for Tempo. Both these players pushing out of the zone. They've obviously been weakened quite a little bit. He drops Horrify down to just a couple shots left. X's and Tempo are both like, hey, I want this. No, this one's mine. As they continue to spray down, Horrify is just in a terrible spot. Tempo not really peeking too much from the other side. Can't drop down this structure as of yet. There it goes. No, it's still locked in.
It looks like it's attached to the 3rd point there. X is hoping to drop Horrify out in the open. Actually, during that, as Horrify was building up, X has had a moment there where he could have whipped the shotgun shot. And if Horrify was very low HP, it could have been an elimination already and put him at 2, but it looks like a hesitation caused him to not go for it. And he's going to have to back out of this, I think, 60 seconds. And looking at the potential zone movement here and the chance that there's a 3rd player, if he knew Tempo was there, saying that I need to move away now and secure the safe zone rather than go for this. And nobody that is currently alive is shining with 3 elims yet. There's a lot of players with opportunities. AG's is 51 players remaining and moving in past the lake. Very open play here, and he sees the target in front of him is getting shot from within that brick structure. So kind of a sandwich situation here. He could be the 3rd player here and go for elimination on someone that may be caught off guard. Brandon is the player up top. He's got Unicorn in front of him. Going to push up, maybe establish himself as basically a neighbor here, seeing we're at the very edge of the zone. You see on the map in the top right, he's going for a gatekeeping situation, watching for people rotating in, and that's why he's sitting up top. He's got the edit active on the triangle so he can look through the structure that is currently established there. Nobody can see him, but he can see everybody.
It's a pretty good spot to be in, especially in a battle royale. A look at Blue T, J Cuddy on the edge of the storm. They'll have to move on in. There are 49 players left, and this zone is getting very, very small. You'd expect the lobby to begin to drop quick, and here's the gatekeeping you mentioned. He's got the edit ready to basically be able to peek on up out of there like whack-a-mole at any moment.
Almost expect an edit and maybe go for a hunting rifle shot on that player that was rotating across the river. Horrify we saw earlier. I almost expect him to go down. That means this means he rotated out past Tempo, moving towards Loot Lake, trying to go for the safe zone. That's the key right now with 47 remaining.
And we haven't really talked about it a lot today, but you see these players, where they hit these trees, they drop them down to just 50 HP. For the viewers at home who might not realize, what is the thought process behind that if you're a pro player?
So if you finish a tree, the leaves kind of get kicked up in the air. There's an animation that plays that gives away position to these players that are extremely attentive to their surroundings constantly. So you see a tree go down, you know someone is harvesting that area, it's giving player location. That information can be incredible. That one, an easy knockdown because it's built within the structure, so it's not gonna give away too much. Plus, any materials are important. The players will opt to not finish trees very often, just so that they can remain as hidden as possible. Kevy here, 0 Elim sitting inside, well inside the safe zone, watching outside this little window, using the camera angle to look around the corner, not exposing himself, and watching for player rotations, an opportunity to take shots at literally anybody. You see Jamok in the middle of that with popping a med kit, almost no HP remaining. Kevy in the feed, Vape Jesus getting an elimination on Turkey Lips, who we saw go absolutely crazy. Turkey Lips did have 3 Elims though before he went down. For everybody at home, that is a point secured, so we should feel great about that. And there's still 4 games left after this. He has many chances ahead of him. Blind in the feed getting elimination. Before we cut away to this very wide angle shot, you can see this shot is so important. You can see how many players are starting to build up around Loot Lake, a very uncommon location for players to favor because it's so exposed. Courage, fighting in the water it slows you down, and you have to have that extra floor layer. You see even where Kuroz is sitting here, there's nothing built underneath him. If you're on Loot Lake, you've got to use more materials to even build the same established location, and that can be tough, especially in late game situations where building is everything.
Jay Cuddy sprang with the SMG. Ecstatic was so weak, so that's a quick cleanup. Aiden just didn't stick the landing. That is Jay Cuddy's 3rd elim, which will put him with a point on the board. I believe that's 2 so far for him today. Blue T chasing this elim down. Look at how weak he is. He's got him down to just 1 shot. You'd expect Blue T to clean this up, but no, the launch pad to disengage. I think he's going to live to see another day.
I'm going to be surprised if he doesn't pick that double barrel up. There
Look
it
at the
is.
loadout.
There
My gosh. 7 minis, a big shield, 3 legendary weapons, and just drops them on in. And well, when you got a drum gun from that close and you'd have no shields, you're dead. There's no other way to put it.
I like the comment. Blind, the tracking on his opponent there. Powder went for a jump over the top to try and pull like a jump 180, and Blind, the accuracy during tracking and players that are moving that fast, that close to you, very high sense players, just because the rate at which they have to build. But Blind, so accurate.
This is Animal, who's just hoping he can get a mini off or 2. Hysteria's still live. He's already in the next zone as well. 1 elim to his name.
38 remaining. There's this wide angle shot in the top right. You can see multiple players engaged already in the modern building over there. You have Hysteria kind of taking a look, gets the elimination on the Animal you see there in the feed.
And that's the right idea. He sees that fight, and he's saying, wait, that guy's probably weak. Let me try to spray this down in hopes he stopped for a second. That player, Bolt Naga, only had 25 HP. Yes, he's not able to finish the elim, but it's the right idea when you try to third-party one of these fights. This is the 3rd elim for Cuddy from earlier on that we did see. Just sprays down with that SMG to put another point on the board.
Just after that as well, moments ago in the feed, Blind securing his 3rd elimination of this game gives him 1 point. He's very close inside the zone, but this is what we've seen. We saw this last game. We're going to see it again. A high player count in a very tight space. The next circle is when things are going to move, so chaos will unleash in here. You're going to see a lot of players holding hands. Blind getting another elimination that puts him at 4. 1 more is a 2nd point. The stink bombs coming out. These are very common for rooting players out. Competitive players, they don't necessarily use it in an aggressive manner all the time, but it's kind of like a way to track targets. They'll chuck it at structures that maybe someone's hiding inside just to get a location, because you can see the 5 damage numbers pop out. And it's like being able to see through walls almost. But this is Aiden, someone we've watched. The fall damage in Loot Lake.
There's the live reaction again.
He's got a smile still on his face. He knows there's 4 games left. As we cut to this, I don't know if you saw that somebody's flying literally at the camera, and this is the beginning of the nest. You see players flying out now. And
one big thing I do want to point out: all of our kind of top performers from back in Game 1, they're really not high up here at all on our scoreboard that I'm seeing. So this kind of lead that people had from the first match,
oh my gosh,
might not follow through. How stacked is that side of the zone?
The west side of the circle is a nightmare. We have a couple players that are established away from that, which is fantastic.
Here's the shot of the one side of the zone. Can we try to get that identical shot to the other side of the zone just to see what it's like?
The west side would be perfect. Base Soldier going down to Blind. Blind picking up his 5th elimination. That's 2 points for this game.
Blue T has 6 bounce pads. He can use these to maneuver so easily.
That means he's going to stay up top here. He doesn't have to start building to get away. He's already prepping for a move, moving ahead. There's 5 seconds left. He didn't even start when the zone started. He got ahead of it because he knows positioning early from last game showed to be very important, but other players are going to watch him right there. Getting shot from the side. Not a lot of damage. He still has a ton of shield left, 65 and 95 HP, so he's sitting pretty still. Can take even a heavy sniper rifle shot to the body, and he'll stay alive.
Oh, Jay Cuddy's got no healing. He's just hoping for a fifth limb for another point. I think that's kind of what he's playing around right now. He's going to
throw some rockets in.
Look to push on in as well. Absolute one-shot blue tee. Still with around 160 HP. Looks like Lasius just took down Bolt Naga. You see Joystick getting eliminated in the engagement feed. 25 players left as we made it into this zone. The quick little look at the picture-in-picture in the top right of just how hectic this truly is.
25 players remaining. Even though he's at 65 shield, popping the full just to get as much as you can. Late game, especially in these hectic moves, these players, that's why we saw a Chug Jug earlier last game, I believe, from Aiden for only 50 shield. You're not going to have the time to use that during situations like this. Everyone is going to listen for that and push.
Is Blind the only one that is not on the bottom layer? He's in a brilliant position to lay down damage. He's got bounce pad. He's got a bounce pad to fall. He's got rockets still in his inventory. A legendary assault rifle.
Hysteria picking up his second Elim. One more gets him a point. And takes tempo as Vape Jesus out. Oh. Jay Cuddy, who was looking for his fifth Elim, gets rocketed.
He's just up in a tower. That's 2 in a row that he's done this with. C9 Blind now at 6 limbs. He could go on a tear to the end of this game, Lupo. No one is contesting him at all.
You're right. Look,
he's completely
nobody
safe.
else is as high as he is
right now. And it's so secured. That structure is so secured. He's going to have to move.
Still. The loadout is absolutely amazing. The shots gets at least one midair. Shield pack. Sees another player rotating. This is an opportunity for Blind to just take taps at everybody that's moving, because somebody might be 1 or 2 shots, and he's accurate enough. He can secure the 7th Elim. That'd be 3 points this game alone. There's players right in front of him. I'm surprised he's not taking shots at blue tee during a rotation, because he has layers. Even he could defend himself while moving. It looks like there's going to be a challenge. Drops himself down, takes a little bit of fall damage, but it's not enough to change his mindset about this engagement. He can still be aggressive. Gets a shot. The jump shot. The double barrel. So powerful.
And he's back to the high ground. He's not done yet, folks.
11 players remaining.
He's got more eyes on. The lobby dropping so quickly now. I believe we're down to our top 10, as this is already a 4-point game for Blind. We mentioned yesterday Tyler's had the incredible 6-point performance, the max you can earn from 1 game. Blind trying to do the same here. 8 now remaining. Sean was taken with a quick limb. Blind refreshes his assault rifle ammo. He was down to just 1 clip, and now he has 500.
It's not the only thing in his repertoire, too. The rocket launcher in the previous, what, 3-4 eliminations for him has been absolutely ridiculous. This amount of structure and how powerful.
No one can contest him up here.
It's crazy.
Oh, maybe a Portafort can.
Spoke too soon. Looks like somebody with a Portafort pushing up and taking an advantage. The Portafort destroys all the structure that it should, that it will break through, and Blind.
Look at how fast that was. Another Elim coming on in. Blind dropping all the way down. He's at 8. It's a 1v1. This is it. Can Blind win this game with a perfect score? Blind panicking. There it is. A 6-point game for Blind. As this man is now sitting pretty at the top of the standings.
I can't handle this courage. This is absolutely amazing. The plays, the plays. It's too much. We watched Blind earlier. Track targets.
Look at him shaking. Look at his hands shaking. Here it is again. The drop down. His drum gun wasn't loaded. His double barrel wasn't loaded. He had to spray with the SCAR. That's how caught off guard he was. His hands shaking. But guess what, my friend? You just did the impossible for what a lot of people would imagine. That is a full 6-point performance, immediately skyrocketing up the standings.
C9's got to feel real good about picking him up. I definitely would. What a set of plays. Yep. He had perfect positioning against everybody in Loot Lake as they rotated out. He had a top-down view the entire time. We had the Portafort came out and kind of mixed things up, but he reacted appropriately as so many players went down so quickly. That last transition, it caught us off guard. Suddenly there were only 2 left. It was a 1v1 situation literally on top of each other, and Blind took advantage of it. 9 eliminations.
You remember back all the way at the Ninja Vegas event was the first time I've ever heard of this guy.
The first time I've seen him.
He wasn't even signed yet. I believe he won back-to-back solos. C9 then picked him up, and then now look at what he's doing for himself. Congratulations to Blind. Incredible performance there. We've got replays for him, as you'd expect. top elims in the game, top spot in the game, and not only again does he earn those points, the 6 points, he just won $25,000 for the Victory Royale.
Absolutely ridiculous. There's moments up here sitting atop the tower. You see in the minimap, he's positioned extremely well multiple times during these rotations, has clear opportunities to drop rockets on players. That rocket launcher paying off huge. One of the most powerful tools, the jump shot. Blue T, you can potentially blind hearing the reload going off, and so he goes for the edit and the quick jump shot, and down here, the very last elimination.
You see, he was trying to swap through.
He was.
Was it Chap?
It was.
It was Chap?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
2 titans of Fortnite fighting it out basically up close.
And there's his teammate from C9 giving him the quick little high five. This venue is packed right now. People enjoying the free food over at the Der Burger. All I know is the beauty of this, we are playing 6 games today, not just 4. So instead of being halfway done with the action, we're only a third of the way done. I think we have to go to this right now, though. An interview with C9 Blind, 6 total points, a monster performance, and he's now $25,000 richer.
Guys, what an incredible game. I'm down here screaming my head off. I'm here with Blind. Blind, my man, you just slayed out 9 eliminations in the Victory Royale. How are you feeling, dude?
I can't believe this, dude. This is amazing. Wow. Wow.
I mean, how does it feel? So not only did you get 9 eliminations, you get the 3 points from that, the Victory Royale was just 3 points, and 25 grand. I mean, what's going through your mind right now, dude?
Nothing. I can't even, I'm speechless, dude. I can't believe this at all. Like, at one point, like, I don't know, just my instincts just kicked in and I just did what I did. That's pretty much it.
Dude, you were full bore there, gas pedal. I mean, what's the strategy going to be like going into the next few games?
I mean, I think I'm going to play probably the same, just pretty passive toward the beginning of the game and then just go aggressive because, you know, the beginning is kind of sketchy.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything to your fans? I mean, PAX was here in an uproar. Do you want to say anything to them and everyone at home who's watching?
Just thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Congrats. Best of luck in the next few games, Blind. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break, but stay tuned. We've got more action heading your way. Oh my God, Blind, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a packed house. We are at capacity as people are lined up down the street live for the biggest spectacle of PAX West, the grand finals of the Fortnite Summer Skirmish. This has been 8 weeks of competition leading up to this point. $8 million up for grabs. Today, $1.5 million alone. And it has not disappointed at all so far, Lupo. We've actually got to look at the standings right now. I'm assuming Blind is sitting pretty at the top. No? Oh, okay, wait. He should probably be sitting pretty at the top. We'll get that fixed for everybody at home. As Jay Cuddy, though, still in a good spot. 6 elims and 5 total points.
lGRAND, our winner from the first game. Yeah, we'll get those resolved quickly. But like you were saying, Courage, regardless of how many people are in this parking lot right now, how packed it is here. If you're in Seattle, if you're at PAX West, and you're not down here, you are seriously missing out. We have 4 games left, $1.5 million on the line, and every Victory Royale is worth $25,000 for the player that comes away with the win. That's crazy.
lGRAND, $25,000 richer after game 1 with the Victory Royale. Obviously, C9 Blind, $25,000 richer after game 2 with the Victory Royale. Moving forward, we're seeing just how stacked these lobbies are towards the end, how many players are in them. We do have the fixed standings here that we'll go ahead and pull on up as well.
There we
Blind.
go.
Okay, that makes sense.
9
so Jay
eliminations.
At 8 elims and 3 points. Okay, so changes things a little bit, but he is far and away at that top spot, Lupo.
That's absolutely amazing. Literally double second place. lGRAND sitting so far behind. I say so far behind. 3 points is absolutely ridiculous. But sitting at 3 points compared to Blind 6, because in game 1, lGRAND played very slow, very passive, very methodical, because he didn't want to go for engagements. He was going for leaderboard placement, and you could see Blind saying, okay, I can play aggressive. I can get elims and placement, and it pays off 6 points in a single game. That's the second time, only second time we've seen it thus far.
And remember, 21st through 100th all earn $5,000. It's that top 20 that you can really earn the extra little bit of money. Now, we wound up going and looking at the pricing. Think Blind with the Victory Royale earns himself $25,000. But now that he's leaped into that first spot, doubling the points of even second, when you look at the prize graphic, you're thinking, wait, this man not only with one pop-off game won $25,000, but could have scored himself at the end of the day another $250,000 almost from that one game.
Yeah. Yeah, it all depends on how the following 4 games go.
Yep.
And I guarantee you, like we've seen over the course of the last 3 days, Jack, you're going to see players change the way that they play. They're going to make adjustments. We've already seen a number of players decide based on what they saw from players like Aiden, Tyler's, Animal, who came away with a 10 elimination game as well. They're going to say, if they can play aggressive and get those kind of numbers, so can I. We've got fast edits, crazy accurate shots, and we have a bus loading up, Jack. It's almost time for game 3.
5 seconds. Here we go. We just saw a legendary Fortnite performance from C9 Blind. Who will do it now in game number 3? It is time. The battle bus has launched. Game number 3 is underway. Who will join lGRAND and Blind and become $25,000 richer with a Victory Royale here?
These early engagements, I guarantee you, we're going to see, what, round 4, 5, 6, whatever it is, of Aiden versus Nick Merckx and Tilted Towers. I almost wonder if one of them decides they don't want to face the other again. Maybe Nick Merckx. He's lost both thus far. And I'm going to guarantee you, though, the crowd here wants to see it again. I'd bet you anything in the world. Now, you have in the bottom right there our winner from last round, Cloud9's Blind, an excellent player. Very, very good awareness and ability to track opponents. And we're going to see where he drops versus everybody else flying through that little zone there. The low grab zones, man, those change things up. I feel like you kind of put yourself in an exposed position, but we're going to have a very early 1v1 Blind. Somebody lands up top. Wow, the blue SMG, an excellent early game weapon, and the shots coming out, taking it. Blind doesn't have the ability to build those, so he's got to rely on accuracy alone. He's got to go for a reload, and it seems like he lost track. It doesn't matter. Gets the shots and the fast reload.
Woo. You see, he shakes his head like, that was not a fight I wanted to have. Nate Hill is just on the other side of the hill with a little tack shotgun and shield combo. So
look at the loadout.
Yeah, unless he's able to heal up real quick, Blind, I think it's going to be in a tough spot, as Nate Hill might just push this right away.
Could go for a hunting rifle shot up. Makes me wonder. Blind must not have realized that Nate was over there. There it is. Go for the hunting rifle. Oh, he doesn't get it. Very close shot, but Nate Hill comes away with that. I think he...
That's what we're talking about, right? He's so low. Nate Hill realizes that I just got a big shield. I'm at 150 health. I could just push this right away.
You know, we heard the engagement earlier, too,
sure.
so there's no reason to not go in on that. Cryo, our coin toss winner from yesterday, can get shots off here at Gray AR. Quite a bit of materials for an early game. He's sitting on 13, 12 builds now as he's trying to wall off and rotate away. Looks like he's trying to get a different position. You don't want to repeat the same spot twice. You don't necessarily know if your player, unless you saw them rotate through their weapons, especially somebody like Saf. This is not the first time they fought each other here. Furico taking a shot, that hunting rifle. Literally, as I was going to say, you don't want to repeat the same spot twice because players might have a hunting rifle. Yeah. Or look at Saf. He's got a semi-auto sniper. They can take a very quick shot if they know you're going to come up in the same spot. A crit could mean the difference between 89th right now and making it on maybe to the next circle.
This is Saf's fight. I mean, you have to think top down shotgun, an LMG. He had the top down for the moment.
Low build count, though. Only 5 layers you can put up, and players use those very quickly in 1v1s like this. He's peeking through. Look at him look through the angle at the top. Trying to track his opponent. The trap play potentially goes for it. His opponent backing out inside. There we go. Using those materials as layers. It's like an extra defense. It's almost like a shield. He's
he heard a shield tag with those nades. Turns around. There's the quick shot on the Furico.
Good awareness from Saf, knowing his opponent is underneath 100.
He got it. I think it was a headshot. I don't know if he got the elim. We're checking out Aiden right now. We'll update you guys there on that last fight. Aiden now in Tilted getting pushed. Not sure who he's battling right now.
Landjack on the feet, our winner from game 1, gets elimination as well.
That was against Fly Crunch.
Crunch, who has been landing here consistently as well. It's time for a little top down. He's going to go for the shot. Whoa, lasers Crunch on the rotation out and gets his first elimination here in Tilted, but he's not done yet. You know there's more players inside.
So I believe Saf hit the headshot, but it wasn't enough to get the elim. That player was so healthy. Remember the semi-auto sniper. The only of the snipers that doesn't instantly drop the opponent. Yeah, Cryo got dropped to like 10 health.
He hit that shot. Now he's got to rotate away.
He's looking. He's hunting.
Saf is hunting him down. At this point, probably realizes based on the last few games that he might own this area now, so he can take his time if he's not going to get too aggressive push. Nick Merckx, is this a Nick Merckx versus Aiden in this stairwell yet again?
I don't know. Aiden, the last we saw was at Tacos. Nick, 200 HP, gets tagged. 38 right there. Wondering if he'll pop this slurp. The way that the ramps are being used right now, I'm assuming it is Aiden because Aiden uses them in the same way as kind of a layered defense that quickly edits them.
It's not
Aiden this time.
Who's been landing here consistently as well. Ilchase, actually, I think this is the first time he's come to Tilted. He landed, I believe, Greasy or Salty last game.
Yeah. There's 4 players nearby right here. Aiden's in new building. There's 2 right next to Nick. Oh, that grenade blows up the cover. Nick hears the big tags. Won't push it as of yet. You look at the elim feed, Poach with an elimination. Nick, the quick shots. There's 1 elim for Nick, still at full HP as the crowd gets behind him. Absolutely a fan favorite here in the Fortnite Summer Skirmish. As the Nick Merckx chant begins, Aiden and Nick Merckx are again in the same building. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for round 3. The first 2 games, Aiden eliminated Nick Merckx. Can Nick get vengeance here as Aiden's actually going to fall back?
This is Animal, one of our top performers, I believe, from day 2. He dropped a 10 bomb in a single game.
Sneaking on up, hunting his prey.
For it.
Says, I'm the animal here today, my friend. As he cuts him down, a quick burst.
Back to Tilted, Nick Merckx.
I mean, how do we not watch this?
You have to.
Yeah, you have to. This is fantastic.
Like, Static is still the 3rd player in this engagement, and I believe they all know that they're in there. They're watching. They're looking to see who's going to make a move first, maybe catch somebody rotating or not watching out a window. Tilted is very, very, you're exposed. There are so many angles because all the different windows and the positions you can see through them. That's why we've seen Aiden peeking through windows with those builds on the outside, just trying to take shots and use the pillars in the middle as like a separator. It's natural cover. Morgoss. C4 from a 3rd opponent there, gets the shots from above, almost gets the elimination, gets one. Ooh. As Flower from Rogue goes down, Morgoss pushing down, trying to get the double. He sees this player rotating around the outside. He had just been dealing HP damage. There it is. Takata goes down as well, gets 2 eliminations. 1 more means a point. Back in Tilted, Courage. These guys, they're gonna go after each other here. They have to. There's no way. There we go.
There it is again. I mean, this is what it's all about, folks. Nick versus Aiden. Aiden 2, Nick 0 so far in the fights. I know Nick has family here watching, a lot of people this weekend wanting to see how he can perform. This is probably, Nick has had such a long competitive history in esports. This is probably the biggest tournament he's ever been in, and here it is, the battle again. We've seen this before. Here it goes, round number 3. Aiden peeking the corner. It's Nick building the ramps. Aiden getting the wall in front just to trying to make sure he's covered and can have some quick edits on out. There's another close ramp. Expect a quick rotation on it. He's going to
the footsteps. He knows Nick rotated up top.
Yeah. Nick's got the high ground now, and I think he'll kind of reset to the top of this new building. There is still Ecstatic just standing still in the big gray building.
If you don't move, they can't hear you, Jack.
Both these players so healthy in this fight. The last time we saw Aiden versus Nick, it was Nick with only 100 HP. I believe there's a slight health advantage for Aiden at the moment. Probably about 10 HP difference. 14 HP, I think is exact. But Nick is back in big gray where there is still Ecstatic hiding behind one of these doors.
You notice he hasn't even moved. He's barely turning and not even really weapon swapping. I think Ecstatic at this point knows that both Nick and Aiden are here. He's waiting for this fight to play out. And Nick, you see, he's looking around the corner. He's watching and saw the rotation. He's going to try and get a top-down surprise here. Maybe drop in the shotgun coming out. Shotgun and then swap to the dualies. You can hear him moving around underneath. The audio tracking these players. It's just...
Ecstatic is close by Nick right now. He's like right behind one of these walls. Back over to Poach, though. We've got to show some love to the other players, too. Poach trying to build on up. Still a little bit of a fight. One player just below him right now. Mighty bank, I love this, banking the frag grenades off the wall. They'll fall right at the bottom of the structure, and here comes the build battle. Poach trying to keep up, actually gets pyramided by the opponent over his own build, and Povesy cuts down Landjock. That's Povesy's third elim of this game.
Spray from that blue, the blue drum gun, one of the most favored weapons we've seen in scrimmage, competitive games.
Poach wants
very
this
low.
fight.
Poach has got to push.
Poach wants this fight.
Knows.
He's hunting right now. Poach for his second elim of the game. Can he break through this structure? Povesy just trying to heal with this campfire. Poach wants this player dead. Can he get the high ground? The pyramid blocked for the moment.
He heard that sound of the his opponent hitting the dirt down there. He knows he dropped all the way down. He's going to take advantage of that and drop in. He's going for the replace every single time, but Povesy's blocking it repeatedly. He's trying to put down the pyramids, the ceilings, anything to stop Poach from getting in and taking advantage of the low HP. And what that does is Poach still knows he has an opportunity to be aggressive. He knows Povesy must be missing a lot there. And the rotation out, it looks like.
Povesy just ran on out. Wait, this was Nick Merckx. Low on HP, in a little bit of a fight. How does it end here?
Ecstatic
eliminating Nick. And you see, oh my God, the frustration there. We were saying Ecstatic was hiding in that build for so long. Nick Merckx with an early exit yet again.
It looks like the player that Poach took shots at that was to his southeast might have been a third player in there. He catches the edit there, takes ownership of the ceiling and gets Povesy as he's trying to back out.
Very patient from Povesy. You got to, sorry, from Poach there. Never went into Povesy's build. He knew he had time, and he still has the launch pad to get away.
Like you said, Povesy did have 3 eliminations. That's a single point for him. Nice actually right now has 3 elims. Morgas has 3 elims, and Blue T has 3. That's a single point for each of them. Feel really good about that. Looking forward to the rest of the day. A number of players still alive. Saf, Poach, and Ecstatic all sitting on 2.
Jack might just died in the zone. Jack might just died in the zone. No. There's
Ranger
the quick elim.
Securing that elimination. We actually watched Ranger in his qualifiers do quite a bit of solid gatekeeping of the river.
Yep.
It's good to see him get an engagement.
He's got to get out of there, though.
And still win as well.
And it begins. The little structures, the little huts, the 1x1s. It has started. Minigun, though, being sprayed into Kayun, who's dropped all the way down to the side of this mountain. Dremen is close by as well. Who's that spraying? Babe Jesus, I believe, from Tempo Storm. Oh, nope. Rip to go. He's out of there. He wants to follow this up right away.
He's going for it. Drops in. Not a whole lot of HP, but he's playing very aggressively. I think the thought is that Minigun would have torn through his opponent's materials, thinking he can't layer up against me anymore. So, a heavy shotgun right into the drum gun, that back and forth combo, and players like Vape Jesus are going to be really good at timing their shots on that. He can get the elimination if he pushes. He can catch this player unable to build. Replays, Bizzle, Wheats, J. Cuddy all hanging out north side of Fatal Fields, very populated. A lot of those angled stairs. Yeah, we've seen that before. When you see players do that, Jack, what are they doing with that?
Well, basically, the way you're running, so you don't have to lose your momentum with your sprint. You angle the stairs to basically block the area that the shots are coming in from. You use it as cover. You're not having to awkwardly jump back and forth and swap and spin around. It's just kind of a clean way to build right across. It uses kind of the least amount of materials too. Aiden's still in this, going to bounce pad and try to follow up his opponent. That's Ecstatic, who actually eliminated Nick Merckx. I think Aiden say, hey, that's my job so far today. I want vengeance now, my friend, as he'll fall on down and reset the fight.
Kling is potentially pushing him out there. He's looking for a better opportunity and any materials. He's very low right now for this time in the game. 1:30 remaining before the next circle. He's going to go for his jump shot here, but his opponent, Ecstatic, walling off against him, just preemptively defending himself, knowing Aiden is very accurate at close, trying to get an angle. That little peek, look at the little hole he's trying to take shots through. Aiden might have to layer up the other side right now, but he's not going to. He's going to go for the shot and then block it off. Any sort of like, just take that single second, that millisecond almost, and get the shot. So you see Ecstatic, he knows the hole's still there, knows Aiden's still underneath. Just kind of pacing his engagement. Just the right timing is going to be key here. Here it comes. Aiden low materials pushing in the shot on Ecstatic, and Aiden gets the elimination.
And that would have been for 3 limbs if Ecstatic could have gotten it. Aiden's still so healthy in this fight. One player just above. The quick edit out. Looks like Aiden's lost the high ground for now. Jukes out that he's going to break down the structure. The opponent drops Aiden with the elim. That's 3. That is 3. And what's this? A chug jug.
Looks like at that point, Aiden started to build to defend. There might be another player pushing in. The FPS from CLG takes Tendons out just south of Salty Springs. Yes, we saw this a moment ago. Yeah, apparently secured his second elimination, 1 away from a single point, and he is sitting on quite a few spray weapons today. It's an LMG, which you don't see too often, but players up close, that thing tears him up. He's got Blue T above him, who may not realize, but look at Blue T's materials. Over 2,000. He has so many builds. He's got a blue drum gun.
Decent.
Decent, to say the least. He's got the ability to rotate away now because he can just layer up as he backs up. He does have the rocket launcher. Explodes right now. Maybe not. I guess it's time to use them. Usually you see those saved for late games. They're very good at dropping structures, especially when the players are playing slow. Is he going for the trap?
Oh, just lost the high ground at a moment's notice, and yeah, he immediately loses it, falls right back down. Not sure exactly who he's battling right here, down to just 39 HP, though, how quickly it all ends, and now he's in the low gravity zone.
I believe that's Blue T's in a 1v1 against right now. Blue T's going around to the rotation. South side of the tree, using the tree as cover, misses the shot. He's got to defend right now, 6 HP.
I think he knows the end is near. Blue T hunting his opponent. He might just die to the zone.
He's got bandages, and it's not ticket for enough necessarily to beat it. If he popped the bandage early, you see it, yeah, FPS going for that bandage. Every little bit counts. Blue T saying, I'm waiting. I haven't seen you in the feed to the storm yet. The third player, somebody watching from a distance, taking shots. Nice gets Amon's in the feed. 20-meter snipe shot, very close range snipe shot. Blue T 3 eliminations, 39 players remaining, 20 seconds till the zone finishes. And it's going to be time to mix it up a little bit more. Goss right now sitting on 4 eliminations, Nice with 4 eliminations, Blue T at 3, Aiden at 3, Saf at 3. All 5 of those players still alive, and points for each of them.
Posey. The FPS just lost to the storm, so there it goes. Blue T not able to get that elim. Is already at 3 though, so can't be too upset. Here's a look at your full scoreboard. A lot of players at the top still in this. As we say it, actually Nice gets dropped. You see live right there. But Aiden still at 3. His teammate in Ghost Sap still alive. Poach is at 2. Nate Hill is at 2. Some big names at the top of these scoreboards right now.
Now, hopefully before too long, there's a number of players we haven't had our eyes on too much. Just the feed has been quiet with them. Players like Tfue, who I was literally about to say his name, and lo and behold, here we are. You got a top down on Kayun. Now, if he's been watching the feed from previous games, he's seen Kayun has eliminated a number of high caliber players with ease almost. Poach, Chap, a lot of big names.
Replays as well.
Replays, yeah, exactly. I would be concerned if you know you run into him.
Quick little spray for Morgoth there. So many materials. And 4 limbs, 3 medkits. Morgos is everything you could ever ask for. You see, just on your screen alone, Bizzle, 72 hours, Chap. Here's replays at maxed HP. Here's an update on Aiden, where he stood up to this point. Oh my gosh.
Heavy shot from Snood there, taking advantage of the swap to the SMG to spray Aiden down. Still comes away with 3 eliminations, though. That's 3 points total on the day, so he's well ahead of many other players. And he does have half the games left today, Courage.
Absolutely.
Morgos looking for his 5th to secure a 2nd point. Would put him at 4 total for the day. 2 behind our current leader, C9 Blind, who was eliminated very early this game. Don't forget, 94th place with a single elimination. Cryo and Nate Hill taking shots at each other. Nate knows he's got him on the outside. Just did damage, knows there's no shield left. That's why Nate's pushing. And the Porta-Port might actually catch Cryo off guard. He's looking for a rotation here. Gets the shot, and Cryo goes down.
And those are the shots you just have to hit. He's got an opportunity to snap with that heavy shotgun.
The prize of a golden double barrel.
Oh, he gets everything. He gets the drum gun, the gold double barrel, legendary double barrel. Here's Cryo again against Nice. There's the cleanup there. That was his first elim of the game. Here's Tfue and Nate Hill, teammates on Faze Clan. Might be a fight coming here soon between the two of them.
Wait and see here. He's got a hunting rifle, double barrel. This is actually a pretty common setup for a player like him. I would almost drop the hunting, and if you got a scope AR, we've seen it in his hands so many times in previous summer skirmishes. You can hear the fight underneath him, the shield. He knows the player just got eliminated. It might be time to go for a push here.
Yep. Tfue just trying to spot. He's got multiple frag grenades to use, banking them. Unfortunately for him, does drop down on top of that structure, which that was definitely not his plan. Now it's time to begin to launch. He's in, oh my gosh, down to just 19 HP, and again, he'll have to fall on back.
Getting caught tunnel visioning with those grenades, not really moving too much. We've even mentioned other players kind of wiggling back and forth. Even if you're doing something like dropping frag grenades down below, you're going to get punished when players are watching every single structure. Knowing somebody's up there, they're going to take shots at every opportunity they can. And Tfue was kind of caught off guard. Like I said, tunnel visioning, not necessarily your best friend in a situation like this.
You have to think the end must be near. Whoa!
A look of disappointment.
Doing his best impression of Tim the Tatman there as he falls to a swift death. Away the road.
A very wide angle shot here. You have a ton of players hanging out at very close quarters. This is going to be a theme for today. People are going for placement, knowing full well that if you get the top 10, that is even just a single point that can mean the difference between 21st through 100th for 5K and pushing into the larger prize pools. Plus, knowing the Victory Royale is $25,000. That buffer is insane. Saf with 5 elims already, 2 points. And the Rockets are going to come in and kind of chase him out of the structure he's built up, but he's going to layer back up. You see even putting floors and ramps down to reinforce anything he's sitting in. That heavy sniper, I'd love to see just an edit, like a window edit, a quick peek and a body shot on somebody for an elim from Saf here. He's got the accuracy to do it. The zone's starting to push the remaining players in. Saf, the only one with 5 eliminations right now in this game. Snood sitting on 3 and a very close combat fight. He's taking, like we've seen this a bunch of times, every opportunity for these players, every second.
He has 18 explodes to use right now. 95 health in total, just staying alive, waiting on out.
Now might be the time to use those. Go for any knockdown you can get right now. Especially the higher up structures, stuff that might be connected to only 1 or 2 things outside of the storm.
Oh,
look at the window shot.
Right into the window. Will it inflict any damage? No, I think there was a quick edit by the player inside that 1x1. Saf, 5 elims, top 25 right now. He has the heavy sniper as well. Here's a look from the top down. Sam all the way up top. Saf using another bounce pad to try to move towards this next zone. This time he gets clipped. Looking at our scoreboard right now on our screen, Morgos still alive with only 4 limbs. What I mean by 4 is he hasn't moved up to that top 5 quite yet. Nate Hill at 3, Poach still at 2, and Geomac just got his first elim on the blue tee.
Here we go. The storm's starting to move. We got 23 seconds until it finishes, and now's the time. Everybody, you can see even through these materials get placed down as they're building. They're kind of see-through still, and you can see just silhouettes of players moving every direction. Tempo even down low, going for a bounce pad just to push as fast as he can away from an engagement that he knows he's not going to win. He does have the porta fort. Look at the layer of players to the left side, middle left side of your screen. There's so many in one spot. You know these guys are going to run into each other in some way. It depends on who gets the shot off first. There's so much movement, and traps right now, Courage, are going to be incredible. You heard one place down because you can catch players rotating through structure. You don't even know.
Chat.
Had it down, drops down with foot layers above himself.
Is that Chap on the other side of this wall?
You see more silhouettes. He's got the porta fort out, maybe thinking about putting it down to try and get a drop on somebody above, knock everything down. Gonna take ownership of this.
Look at the zone. Everyone hugging that close side, getting ready to move. 10 seconds away. Remember, top 20 earn a point. And you're not happy with something you just saw. What was it?
The ridiculousness of this position it's terrifying to think. Half of the players are going to go down, most likely during this rotation. And here we go. People flying through the air. Nate Hill getting laser landing outside the zone, ticking, and that's going to be all she wrote for Nate. Too far into the storm, and takes literally all it took was 2 ticks.
Yep.
All it took was 2 ticks.
Rip to go. Someone going to the high ground. I think Rex just got eliminated by a trap. You see Chap still with under 20 HP. Tfue with 2 elims. This could be the difference between 2 points and 0 right now. If he can make it to the top 10 or find the next elimination. Sam has not left this high ground at all. Only 1 rocket to his name. He's got to use this wisely. 13 players still left. Who will secure the Victory Royale and $25,000? Tfue's got nothing left right now. He's just hoping, Lupo, that he can make it in the top 10. A switch on over now to Ghost Fizzle. He's got 1 elim, but a ton of healing in his inventory. 10 minis and a slurp, and still a lot of materials left.
In the feed, you saw Poach get his 4th elimination. This is a player that thrives in these very close combat 100%. Engagements. He knows his way around these little buildings. You see all the way down the bottom. This is a position we've seen him in a ton of times. Gets tapped a little bit in there, but he has an opportunity to capitalize on this. Morgoth secures his 5th elimination. That's 2 points. Chad making a move, super low HP, and goes down on the move right there. That rotation is going to be tough. Everybody's moving simultaneously. 5 players left, Courage.
72 hours, eliminates base soldier. Geomach dies to the storm. Poach is out of materials. He can no longer build. He's hoping people have to drop on down. Morgoth now at 6 elims, 1 away from earning the 7th, which would be another point for him. You see he's on a low level near Poach. Poach will wind up trapping all these levels as people try to drop down towards him. 10 seconds until the zone begins to close. He's got bandages to work with, but it's going to come down to a heal up, I believe, ladies and gentlemen. Who will make it out on top? Poach trying to take matters into his own hands. The storm slowly closing. 19 seconds, 18 seconds, 17 seconds. The fight's just a layer above Poach. He cannot even build up. That's 72 hours. His teammate getting dropped. Morgoth trades the elim. That's his 7th. Morgoth has a med kit. Sam has nothing to heal with. They've made it to the top 3. Morgoth has a chance to have a 6-point game himself to match that of Blind. Who will out-heal the most? Morgoth with another med kit. Sam dropping on down, trying to spray. Morgoth in the 1v1. Will he get the perfect game? He does. Morgoth with the victory. And look at the hype. 7 elims and the Victory Royale. Back-to-back 6-point games. Blind, then Morgoth. And is he phasing up? All right, fine. I guess he's like, Banks, send over the contract.
We see you. He's waiting.
Send over the contract, please.
Like you said, back-to-back 6-point games. And we only had 1 during the entirety of the heats of the qualifiers.
Does the back of his sweatshirt say 1v1 me playground? That is incredible.
It's a DM I get from you quite often, Kurt.
It is. But either way, congratulations to Morgoth. $25,000 richer. A 6-point game. And I think that moves him up to the top spot today as well.
Based on the previous 2 games, if I recall, he had 2 points. That makes a total of 8 for him over the course of 3 games. And we're only halfway done.
We are only halfway done.
But he's in an incredible spot. $25,000 richer as well. That's got to feel good.
Most certainly, I can promise you that. The man just moved right up the scoreboard. What a performance from everybody there. Poach tries to get it done towards the end. You see, can't out-heal that zone. Not as good as a med kit, but we've got some replays to look at first, starting with none other than Ghost Aiden. I think he secured himself another point that game with 3 elims. This was the quick beam of the drum gun. 52 52 headshot damage with that crit. Back-to-back, just shreds his opponent. This was that second elim onto Ecstatic. That's the player who actually eliminated Nick Merckx in the game. And then here, swaps around. Nibs falls to his death as well.
One of the best controller players. I mean, there's no argument here. Aiden has established himself extremely dominant and tilted.
Yep.
But that's not the only indication. We saw multiple engagements there at the bridge to the far south along the river, and he's able to hit his shots. Very fast edits. One of the best players we've seen thus far, and he continues to show that whether he makes it towards the top 10 or not, he's racking up eliminations and very, very aggressive top-down gameplay.
Oh, for sure. And that's what it's all about. We also have a little highlight from Nate Hill. His game ended in quite an awkward way as he went to go bounce pad, but if you remember, he was actually the one to cut down C9 Blind at Fatal Fields right off the break of the game. And then this was the shot with the heavy shotgun. Look at this as he snaps onto his opponent. Actually, oh, we just missed it, but either way, he snapped, but then that's the bounce pad. It took him much further than I think he was hoping, and as he was going, he gets sprayed down, and the frustration there. Yeah, and the eye roll and everything.
The only option, I think, in a situation like that, you saw the trajectory he was taking. He could have put a wall up on his left and attached it to what was there and then immediately turn and put one in front of himself to stop. But it's so fast. You're moving so quickly through the air. And the trajectory, like you said, when the zone's moving, you've got players shooting at you from every direction. This is hindsight. I mean, in the situation,
for sure,
he tried to do everything that he could.
You know, coming into this weekend, two of the most winningest players of the Summer Skirmish up to this point, Vivid and Liquid Poach, were the two that I had my eyes on. Poach actually this game puts up some heavy limbs to earn himself a point. Did he get 5? He might have gotten 2 points.
Very fast edits.
A lot going on.
That ramp block versus opponents that are pushing up Giant right there, and then immediately editing. It's almost as if some of the reaction speeds, he knows that his opponent is going to react to being blocked off and turn away very quickly. And so he edits almost instantly after placing the ramp and takes a shot as soon as he can.
And this was him hoping to out-heal. This is where you just kind of cross your fingers. You see everyone in the background watching his perspective. Look at all those faces.
A tactic we've seen from some players too. These heal-offs at the end might seem like you're just spam clicking to see what you can get off in time, but the fact that he had 75 HP right there means he had to wait until he took a tick of storm damage to pop the first bandage. He could have healed just a little bit ahead of time if he had anything less than 75, and that could have made all the difference in the world.
Unfortunately for him, his game did end there. You saw, look at the crowd, very comfortable here in the beanbags in the Fortnite tent booth, whatever you call it. Either way, though, Morgoss, our new overall leader, I can confirm right now, just secured the Victory Royale, the full 6-point performance, $25,000 richer. He's on the floor with Zeke.
Just trying to get the 4-1-1 on the new grappler item. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with Morgoss. Come on over, dude. I'm getting word you are now the overall leader. So not only do you get all the eliminations, you get the 6 points, the Victory Royale, 25K, and the overall leader. Dude, how are you feeling?
I'm shaking right now, honestly. I can't believe it. I mean, I've been practicing for 5-6 months now. It's just a crazy feeling to finally pay off, you know?
I mean, so what was practice like leading up to this? Was it just, you know, how many hours a day? What were you doing? Were you running scrims?
Yeah, it's the professional scrims. It's probably around 10 to 12, maybe even 14 hours a day. But I think the biggest thing, the hardest part for me was sacrificing time with my family to practice and be the best.
I mean, but obviously this paid off, right? Sure, you sacrificed time, but then you show the world, guys, I'm Morgoss. Hello, 25K here at finals. I mean, how do you think your family's feeling after watching you do this?
They're crazy. They're crazy for it, I know. I wouldn't be here without them, for sure. They sent me out, they flew me. They've been supporting me for a few years now. It's a great feeling to finally make them proud, you know?
Now, what do you got to say to all the new fans that you've just made around the world, dude?
Phase up.
Best of luck, Morgoss. We'll see you in the upcoming games. Courage, Lupo.
They got it. They got it figured out. He might be doing well with in-game, but apparently still needs to learn how to have a handshake.
12 times the charm, Jack. Yeah. Takes a little while. It's okay.
It's okay.
You hear him, too, basically calling Banks out right now, saying Faze up.
No, he's going to keep plugging Faze and get every
opportunity. Time that he
can. You guys have open rooms out there in Los Angeles. I'm trying to move it.
I can appreciate the hunger. Well done.
Oh, it's fine. They'll drop Cloaksy. It's okay. But either way, we've got our standings update for everybody at home. There you go. The man right there at the top, tying the Elimza blind, but he's got 2 more points. Nate Hill, frustrating into that last game, but he's still in third. Sap and Aiden, both top 8. Still Poach with that performance moves into the top 8 there as well. And Liquid Chap, top 10.
You take a look, even the top 10 right here, 3 Ghost players representing Ghost Gaming. It's crazy to see how just recruiting for some of these teams, they're so good at it, spotting players that they know are going to perform well. They put on basically a clinic on how to perform in competitive games, and all these teams got to be feeling good about the placement right now.
Now remember, 21st through 100th all get $5,000. It's the top 20 who then have those incremental, is that a word? Incremental?
It is.
Yeah, it is. Increases in how much they pay out. All eyes on that, who will be in that 20th spot, who will be able to earn some of those bigger numbers. We are just halfway done with the action. I've been looking at some of the numbers watching online. It is absurd, the support right now for the finale of the Summer Skirmish. Hashtag Summer Skirmish. Get involved in the conversation online. Halfway through today, thoughts so far of the matches we've seen?
You're seeing players play much more reserved than they have the previous days. And the reason is, I mean, I can't blame them. There's $1.5 million on the line, and because leaderboard placement, top 10 is a point, they're going for that every single time. It is crazy how close together players are ending up. We've had some wide-angle shots of some of these areas that you lose count of how many people are stuck inside there, and I have a feeling we're going to see it again here in just a second, Jack, because the bus is prepping to launch. If you're here at PAX West, make some noise.
Here we go.
Game 4.
Crowd getting behind it. You love to hear it. Here we go. Reminder, yes, through the qualifiers, we only played 4 games a night. Today, though, the grand final, we play 6. So there is still a ton of Fortnite action to come. Who will secure that top spot and walk away with the majority of that $1.5 million prize pool? There is our winner from Game 3. The perfect performance, 6 points to move all the way up that leaderboard. Morgos.
Now, during his qualifier, a number of times we saw him at 2 eliminations and just outside of the top 10. We watched him at one point try and track down, I believe, 3 different players going for that elimination and couldn't secure it. So right now, showing up, getting all 6 points in a single game has got to be incredible. Dropping in on that blue suppressed SMG, getting a pump action shotgun, and he's got a player in front of him already. He's going to get aggressive. The taps from a distance, only 9 damage because of the damage drop off the SMG. It's definitely not an AR, but it still put up numbers. Going to go for another push here, moving around the outside. And no materials, which means it's all about placement right now and trying to catch his opponent off guard. It's going to drop in and go for, you heard the chest open, gets the shot against the wall, but misses, but it still can secure the elimination on Takata. Very good up-close engagement.
That's the type of fight that you need to take early on, which is why I think he's seeing so much success, right? He knows he's got the shotgun and the swap weapon, which already gives him the tools to win an up-close fight. Nick Merckx back and tilted. Only 2 great pistols, 158 HP. That's Gyron from Misfits just above him.
Looks like Barnology is in the back right corner there. I believe that's the taco building.
3 great pistols. Cool.
And a
Nick
green.
Has 4 pistols right now on the ground. Did he just miss a shotgun?
No, he left the pistol behind. In the corner there might have been a shotgun. He rotated past it pretty quickly. Going for the chest, though.
Oh, no.
Not bad, but he doesn't have a close-up weapon.
Not really what he wants right now.
Misfits looking for him. Gonna track him on the outside. This is going to be tough.
He's got the remote explosives. He wants this fight at the moment. He hears the fences being opened, and Aiden is still kind of hunting in Big Red with full HP.
I would almost bet if Gyron can get this boogie bomb off on his opponent, if he tracks Nick Merckx down, he's going to drop the C4 right on top of him and pop it at the same time.
No, Nick's got to keep just disengaging until he finds a better weapon. There you go.
There we go.
He's got something now. Oh, there's a blue pump right there, too. So he'll get the max health with that slurp. People still nearby. Anything good from the chest? To see later on.
Ran over here, retail, the west side. He's sitting on, honestly, kind of a similar loadout. Only a pistol for his kind of mid to long range engagements. He had a hunting rifle as well. WBG's Ranger in retail, not too far away. This is Brandon just moments ago here in retail row before he started rotating up, going for the shot and gets it. Catches Sakaris off guard, 86 damage, body shot, but it's enough to secure that elimination. Aiden.
I think this is what you think it is, folks.
Same spot.
Aiden versus Nick Merckx again. It never ends. Aiden trying to claim some walls. Nick weakened. On the other side, Aiden in the 2 battles so far has come out on top. Him and Nick dancing back and forth. The ramp edits trying to just keep the drop on Nick to maybe get a shotgun shot off. He wants to chase this fight down. He knows he's got the health advantage on him as he continues to be max HP in every fight he has with Nick. Does get tagged up once, dropped to twice now. Over to 152, here's the fight again. I believe this is Nick, tags him with the headshot. Shields down on both sides, stink bombs being used now. As I think Nick is gonna retreat as both players look to mini back up.
These guys, that move right there is one that's super common.
Never ends, these guys just keep going at it.
A little triangle to pop out those windows, super common in that building, and both players know it, which means that every floor kind of has exits no matter where they are. He's going back inside. This is just relentless back and forth between these two guys, and they're going to keep going for it. He's going to use that as a way to try and locate.
Nick got a huge tag. Nick's going for it. Nick's going. Oh, he falls right back down. Once he missed that second pump, he falls right back down. I believe both players so similar in HP. Yeah, Nick's actually getting shot in the back by Misfits Gyron and beamed instantly by Aiden with that AR. And that gives Nick, and Nick already knew, but that gives Nick full confirmation of who's nearby him. He knows it's Aiden 100%, no doubt. They are on the same level right next to each other.
Back and forth around the stairs, every angle. It's cat and mouse in here. They're both trying to find that one spot.
Oh, he's blocked himself.
Blocked himself out. The jump and edit back inside. Another player sniping in, but Aiden sneaks into the window. The snipe isn't relevant anymore because it's Aiden versus Nick Merckx.
I can't tell if that shotgun actually connect or not. I can't tell right now.
Another stink bomb trying to get any tag he can on Nick, even himself apparently. The rotation through there, he's trying to catch
Nick is getting so low. Those stink bombs have chunked away so much HP. He's down to just 99 health. Aiden still hunting from above.
Only 4 builds left too, which means Nick can't defensively play against him too much inside here. He's got to go for it soon. And here we go, 93. The shield shot, and Aiden catches him off guard.
Did Nick just swap to the wrong weapon and he claps?
Are you kidding me? I don't know what to say here, Courage.
Look at this 3-0, baby. I hear from the crowd as Aiden has yet to lose a fight versus Nick. And you thought Nick had the full advantage, but it looked like he messed up his swap or something because he just stood there and Aiden said, hey, friend, good stuff. But unfortunately, we've had 3 battles and I've won every single one.
Rangers still back over here at retail. It's a wide angle shot in your top right just to kind of show you where these players are against each other, what Ranger has in front of him. And there's quite a bit of built up structure here. We'll have to find out if he has ownership of a lot of this or not. He doesn't necessarily know. You saw he was looking all the way up top trying to track Brandon, thinking he's top of that wooden 1x1, but potentially little does he know Brandon dropped down already. He's going to keep checking, taking shots in, just kind of trying to, it's like trying to flash a flashlight over some bugs, get him to run out from the structure, see if we can watch Brandon on the move. Maybe doesn't realize here at Retail Row, Psalm is also on the far east side under the blacktop buildings, the stores. Ranger go for any materials he can. Even on the move here, it might be mid-engagement, but it doesn't necessarily matter. Now blind, Tfue, look at this 1v1. Shots from Tfue, gets a couple accurate ones in the long range double barrel, 7 HP remaining. He's got bandages to patch up.
Sigh of relief, I think.
Solid 1v1. Aiden right now, by the way, the only player in this game with more than 1 elim. He's sitting on 2. A score of 3 total over the course of the day today. Tyler is someone we've seen put on a good show in the past. We interviewed earlier today, and he's had a few rough rounds and hoping here southwest side of Shifty he can make some plays. Flower in the feed, getting Reigns knocked down back to Aiden and tilted. Looking for his 3rd elimination, Courage. Maybe tracking Coop Train on the rotation out there next to Loot Lake. All the materials he can gather. He's not sitting on a whole ton either. Is this a fight a push outside. This is the far southeast corner past Paradise. Rifts actually spawn off, basically off the cliff out here, and players will use that as a way to rotate back into the zone if they're forced to. Flower, by the way, picking up his second elim. Another player now at 2 eliminations. Cryo and Top Boy flying past each other, almost like a synchronized swim maneuver there. Morgos picking up an elimination, our winner last round on Jack. The Top Boy gets the shot on Cryo. Both low HP.
And a Klinger actually would have eliminated Top Boy right there if he stuck him once, but couldn't actually connect. This is STDX Vide. Close range, build fight there. Triz tries to go for the quick edit, but not able to snap fast enough. Nate Hill in the elimination feed again with another elim. He's already top 5 today. Rogue 00 Flower, our first player this game to reach 3 eliminations. He was already, I think, top 12 in the scoreboard of standings as well.
Prodigy Aces looking for a shot. Those little boxes. Put himself inside a shack. Where his opponent is over there. Aiden back here still untilted. Gets the shot and takes another elimination. That's number 3 for the game. Puts him at a single point. This one. A stack on top, that puts him at 4 total for the day. Nate Hill also tied at 4 points total for the day thus far. Like tempo here. Gonna make some moves. Low HP, barely any shield. He's got bandages. He's gonna take an opportunity while his opponent here, Boyer, isn't necessarily pushing. XD.
Oh, that player with the nade launcher.
Almost just eating explosion there, yeah. He's right next to the cube, which means shield is actually getting added to him. But his opponent, Turkeylips up top, knows if you shoot the cube, it lashes back out at whoever is closest.
Yes.
Turkeylips knows his opponent is sitting right on top of it, so if he shoots it, even though he's the one dealing damage, the cube is going to lash out at the player basically sitting on top of him.
Again, when they're near it, they're gaining some shield. First time we've really seen the cube come into play so far today.
I actually didn't even realize it was this far over. It's in Shifty Shafts now.
Yep. So it continues to maneuver around the map, still wondering what it even means. Probably something regarding Season 6, but who knows? It looks like players will begin to have to move towards this middle island. Just outside Fatal Fields. This is a Hysteria on the opposite side of the map. Quick
pick up
double
his
barrel.
First elimination. He gets it on EMAT, his first elimination this game. WBG's Punisher dropping the clingers down there. As soon as those start to detonate, like you said earlier, they drop down now once the structure that they were attached to disappears. Previously, they used to instantly explode. You'd see players throw the clingers at like a wall that they see someone hiding behind, shoot the wall out, and then it would instantly detonate. Not anymore. They drop down like gravity's pulling them down. He's looking for shots. Actually gets the elimination on Rogue's 00 Flower inside this box. Picks up all the loot. There's a handful of med kits in there. Yeah,
look at his materials.
Hopefully he grabs the 3rd med kit. Maybe he didn't realize that there was one sitting there. He's only carrying 2
Max
currently.
wood, max brick, 800 metal is what he currently had. Aiden, another engagement. He's got to move forward.
Bounce pad, go for it. He missed the build. Going for the bounce pad play to fly across. Almost perfectly. Are you kidding me?
And he actually gets the little benefit of the boost. He's going to land right on his opponent. He wants to keep the pressure on.
A box inside, though. He's going to have to smash his way out. Nobody owns these walls, so he's got to take an opportunity to melee those down. Gets caught underneath his own surface. Looks like he tried to build a floor and jump up. He almost went for the edit. Didn't get it off in time. Goes for the edit on that outside wall. He's starting to drop down underneath. Probably heard the rockets coming and reacted, thinking they're headed towards him no matter what, so it's time to build away. Trying to edit his way out. Change the angle against his opponent. Always kind of mix it up. You never want to repeat, and this is a good example of that. Goes for the shot in. A little clip in the shotgun. The LMG, a 52 in there, and gets the elimination on Q-Train. The crowd going wild here. 40 HP. Player 3 is into the match. 9 HP remaining, and Mars Cities gets the elim and stops Aiden from hitting 5 elims. That would have been 2 points, but only 1 this game.
Finally gets shut down. What a build performance right there. Boltnaga throws a stink bomb in. And that one is smelling as Tyler's just dies to it right away.
That, by the way, is our 2nd elimination over the course of the entire weekend. Week 8 of Summer Skirmish. 2nd elimination to stink bombs. I saw a stat online earlier. I said that 1 happened, I believe, in day 2 qualifiers. X's replays kind of bouncing back and forth next to each other. Spots, Bizzle rotating into the safe zone. Just kind of moving around, trying to track down anybody in these areas, looking through these builds. If there's anybody left alive here, if there's anybody watching, Replays wants to know where they are, and this looks like he is pretty alone here. But this wide angle shot, this is where the field starts to tighten up. You've got nobody right now that's currently alive with more than 2 eliminations. Diggy, Nate Hill, Punisher, and Wheels 960 all have 2 eliminations.
He doesn't have a lot to work with. I mean, look at his inventory.
He doesn't.
Thermal, assault rifle, a gray SMG, and 5 bullets and a shotgun. He's going to get to a point where he kind of has to force something here soon. Here's our scoreboard of the players alive right now. No one remaining in the game has 3 elims yet.
Yep. The shots from the side. He does have quite a few builds, at least for a little engagement right now. He could use the launch pad to fly away if there's any concern. And the shots coming in. He's going to have to try and build and defend against that. Over that edit to get out. Missing those edits, those fast edits like that, it can cost you if players are right on top of you. Imagine missing an edit like that, having to go for it a second time. Somebody's going to fall in and get an elim on you if you're not watching. Diggy,
that's how Diggy got a second.
Ranger outside the storm. No HP, no bandages, no med kit for Diggy, so he's going to take a little bit of damage. But coming away with an elimination in that, probably a good idea. It's it's a worthwhile trade.
Look at the high ground from Snood and Fulmer outside Fatal. Saw him, the player launch pad, so he's just going to follow suit. And he's got to be worried about the player up top. Uh-oh, down to just 48 HP. Should be safe for the moment. All he's got left is brick. He's half in the low grab zone, half not.
It's literally in a box right next to him. He might not have realized, he was getting shot from the player up top in the tower on top of the hill. He might not realize that Nibs is also hiding inside. I'm sure he saw the structure, and it's clearly one that has capacity to hold a player. There's no edits for anybody to come out of it, so I would almost assume he knows there's somebody's right there. Plus, the footstep movement from Nibs right now. He's in a tight spot here, though. Low HP, not a ton of shield. He does have a gold double barrel. You see him with it out right there, and Nibs is the player up above him. They start a rotation.
Wow,
just gotta watch for each other.
Farico blocks Lasius as he looks to build on up. Look at the inventory. Drum gun.
Oh my.
Gold double, or the legendary double barrel. 3 remote explosives. Chug 9 minis. But, you know, it's all great to have, but you got to live through the fight to be able to heal with it.
It's like he went for a double barrel shot and whiffed it just over the top. The bloom on those things, sorry, the spread pattern, how wide it is on the double barrel. Plus, we talked about the damage drop off of those things. You have to be in bludgeoning distance for it to be at max effectiveness. And if the opponent was so far away, it might not have even been worth it to go for it.
Jeez, listen to the build speed from Haste Farico. Steele, he's been shot by 3 or 4 players that aren't involved in this direct close fight.
I guarantee you he wishes he had the time to get that chug jug off, but all he has is time. His opponent underneath trying to pickaxe his way up through, gets the build, still owned that staircase. Lasius pays the price, gets caught off guard as the edit drop down. Quick double barrel shot. That thing in the same box, man. That thing's lethal.
That's a huge moment because that gives him the ability now to chug jug, assuming he's going to pick up that heavy sniper rifle. No real updates from Sam yet, as he just is trying to stay hidden with how little health he has. Prodigy Ace is yet to get an elim this game. He's top 43.
See Animal, I believe, in the webcam there on the right side watching from the side. Looks like he must have been eliminated earlier. I love how the players, they want to see everything that happens, so they'll watch every PLB they can.
I mean, they're all so passionate about this game for a lot of these players involved. And I mean, you and I, this game's changed our lives. So you get involved here and you want to soak in it all and just enjoy the event. A look at our last real place of interest involved in the map is Fatal Fields. Nate Hill, 3rd elim here would give him another point, and
almost went for it. By the way, you mentioned the 3rd elim for a point. Punisher right now, the only one still left alive. Hit the shot.
Look at his reaction. No way, he says, as that player who is just in his sights soars on out. Nate, is this going to happen twice in a row?
Gotta know he's going to go for it.
Whiffs the shot there, tags some shields. He's only got 57 HP. Can't get the elim as well. The tree was weak. No follow-up. He's going to chase it. I think he's going to go for it. He's risking the game on this.
He's hungry for that 3rd elimination. Securing a point would be pretty big. This would be point number 5 for him on the day.
He gets control of the wall.
His opponent building up the edit, coming out the top. He's trying to get a top down on Nate.
can't hit the shot.
Could not track Hysteria on the way down. 85 HP. Could have been a one shot from that heavy shotgun, but not enough. Missing the shot cost him that one. And the option there, Courage, you think going for it to try and get that third elim for a point was a good call? He wasn't sitting too high on HP. Maybe playing a little more secure and wait for your time to strike on somebody that isn't paying attention was a better call.
I don't mind it right there. You know, it's one of those things where everyone assumes the player's going to be so passive. He was hoping to maybe catch Hysteria off guard. It's also, he had no safe place to really go to. Everyone else was already set up and secured in the new zone. Marcity's just got blown up by remote explosives. That was Rico.
Horrify is actually sitting underneath. Yeah, he's not even moving. Horrify is right underneath Turkey Lips.
And he's just chilling for the moment. Here's Poach, his first limb of the game. He'll get a slurp juice off that, which will put him at maxed health. It's the perfect item to get. Punisher, replays, and Cease also nearby.
60 seconds left before the first time the circle's going to move. 30 players left on the field, so we've had far more players eliminated early this game compared to even the first and the second, which means this won't be as tight, as chaotic of a circle move, but it's still going to be crazy. 30 people left. There are 29 now. In this size of a zone is rough. Hysteria in your feed there, getting another elim there. That puts him at 3, which is a point. That's his second on the day. Farigo has 4 eliminations, leading the players that are still alive in this game, which is 1 point for him. Punisher with 3 as well. Nobody else alive besides those 3 has 3 eliminations or more.
Strugs keeping the high ground. Punisher inching closer and closer to safety in this next zone. You see on the minimap, basically 1 block away. That'll probably put him as safe. He wants to claim all these walls. There can be no quick edit ins from his opponent. And he's still got 600 plus medals, so he's more than happy to do this. Is this ending in the low gravity zone? I think this is ending in the low gravity zone.
I believe it's about to push that way.
This is going to change how this entire final circle plays.
Players are going to have to be careful when they jump in this thing. You float much higher than typically you'd be used to, which means people that are going for shots on you while you're in the air, it's going to happen a lot. You might even see people, oh my gosh, the number of people that are jumping.
Oh my goodness.
What is happening?
Wait, what is happening? Wait.
Flying away in the air.
One of them's a shot. Wait, what is happening?
It looks like while they're in the zone, they're getting pushed up in the air. I've seen this a little bit online.
Wait, what is happening? The rune now flies you around? Even they don't know what to do. Look at this. What is going on? It's just floating them up and down.
Diggy in the feet didn't stick the landing, a 22-meter drop. You see them, they're going for literally anything. Players might try and catch themselves with builds.
Okay, no matter what, this is hysterical.
Hysteria going down on the feed. People are just taking SMG and rifle shots while flying through the air right now.
Wait, so is this how this low gravity field now works?
I've seen this a couple times, like videos on Twitter and stuff.
Do you activate this?
I don't know if this is...
What is happening? He's trying to box himself in. There you go. Okay.
Catches himself. He's. you see him put his hands up.
What is this zone right now? Oh, well, when I said it's going to change how this whole game is played,
you were more right than you realized.
I really was not expecting. He is now floating in this.
He has himself boxed in basically to catch himself. He could open up basically a line across the top.
It's gone from low gravity to no gravity. Poach is like, I'm going to sit outside this. Oh my goodness.
13 players. The storm's going to start to move, maybe saving players from kind of a confusing way to engage there. There's no way you practice for something like that. 13 people left, which means if 3 more go down, Poach picks up a point. If he gets 1 more elimination, Poach picks up a point. Might get one right here. The edit, the quick edit, takes a shot through, but couldn't secure that one. Does get a shield tag. 1 player more needs to go down, and then everybody, there it is. Rio secures the elimination on Farigo, who we were watching earlier, fly through the air.
We're in the top 10. Everyone remaining now has earned a point. This is where Poach is in his most comfortable zone. He's got a launch pad to use as well. Still enough materials to make some things happen.
I think I saw on the feed a 53-meter fall damage elimination. Somebody was taken out by that, which might have meant as they were rotating in, they didn't get ahead of the anti-grav zone. The reverse gravity zone, whatever you want to call it. That was ridiculous.
At this point, yeah. I think anyone was expecting that. Poach now top 7, inching every second closer and closer towards this next zone.
Poach taking shots out, trying to do anything he can just to try and get a tap here. Holding the edit. Looking outside, Tendon's rotating in right now. Sofa rotating in right now. Everybody's kind of on the move. Sofa might catch the opponent off guard. There's shots from the back. Poach tracks down his third elimination, puts him in the top 5. 2 more going down will get him yet another point here. A shot through times. You saw him there. He's waiting, just holding ADS, waiting for the wall to go down. He's trying to sneak through this edit. Got to get through fast enough and does not make it.
Oh, the Storm
gets eliminated by the
once
Storm.
more.
4 players left.
That was his 3rd. That'll give him a point. Remember, top 3 earn another point. Whoever drops next be a heartbreaking way to go out. So we got eyes on Tendons right now at the bottom of this hill. They'll have to move a little bit up. Sean was taking some above it. A snipe, 9 meters. 9 meters from Bowman to eliminate Sofa. 3 players left. He's got no materials, but he's got a med kit.
At this point, he has the bounce pad. He's probably going to build 1 layer out and bounce his way down. If he's going to go for this, I don't think he could drop down just based on materials alone. A 1v1, drop it in. Sean going for it, takes a shot with shot. He gets it midair, 49 to 77, and misses intended with the trap play. Are you kidding me?
Tendons with the trap a limb. Like he's going for Twitter clips. Look at this. Tendon spams the walls. Oh.
That was his 5th elimination as well.
That ending of that game,
a 5-point game,
was one of the wackiest things ever between the whatever the hell the zone was.
Welcome to Fortnite.
With the people floating around.
What do you say?
Cards. I mean, that's my notes after that one. That's where I stand.
What a game 4. We thought yesterday was insanity.
The weather's
Look at
nice
this.
out.
Yeah,
it's
gorgeous
nice, really nice out today.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with my hands yet again.
Wow.
That was incredible. A trap play to finish.
Just throw up the replay. Just do it. We're all taking this in. This crowd, everyone just going nuts on the trap, going nuts on how it all ended. Here's hysteria. Had that double barrel and just showed off its strength, close range. He's performed quite well today. I would say of all the days up to this point, this is definitely the best he's played. And, you know, he's been in the competitive gaming scene and at major tournaments for other esports for the last, well, decade plus. This man is no stranger to being in intense scenarios. There's the 3rd elim that gave him a point. You got to be happy if you're hysteria, to say the least. Moving forward, anyone's game still. That's the beauty of it. We've seen from these 6-point performances, which have happened twice already today, as we pull up Farico's replays here, literally anyone can rise up these scoreboards in these final couple games.
It's funny you say rise up these scoreboards. We watch Farico floating in the air. These players literally going for SMG. That was Chap going down in the air. Swapping weapons, just going for replays, anything they can while they're up close on top of each other. He actually got multiple. It takes Horrify out as well as how he got to 6.
Oh my gosh.
Dropping rockets, he sees players boxing themselves up, but at that point, if anybody has secured themselves kind of a chamber to sit inside, they can just take shots at him as he's flying. But what, Jack, what happened?
I need to hear from... Did that just get updated to the game? I know it always happens. Our winner at the end, Tendons, we'll see it again. The trap a limb at the end. I think he even surprised himself.
There was a point in time when players first started to get used to boxing each other in, maybe early in season 1 and 2, where they were going for these YouTube clip kind of plays where they put the walls down and trap them in. He does it in the middle, literally in the middle of the final week of Summer Skirmish.
That was 5th elim too, so that actually put him at a 5-point game by himself right there. Not the full 6, but still, if you're Tendons right now, you just put yourself in a great spot to win a lot of prize money today.
Oh yeah. He's got to be feeling, like you said, $25,000 just for that win alone.
Yep.
And probably a solid high 5 for a trap elimination to win the game, to be honest.
You don't win any extra money for that. But I believe we have Zeke. Oh, this is beautiful. This is going to be
one for everybody.
Zeke has Aiden and Nick Merckx.
Hey.
All you, Zeke.
I mean, you guys, were you at Tilted? You want to see Aiden and Nick Merckx? Well, I mean, gentlemen. I mean, hey, I've got him. So, guys, let's talk. Tilted Towers. What's going on? We'll start with you, Nick.
We got some spicy fights going on right now. The first one, I didn't put up too much of a fight. He had a great right-hand peek on me. The second one, I swear I thought I hit him for 500 health. El Taños over here, the limited time game thing. he had so much health. I kept cracking him and cracking him and cracking him. And then that last one, those poison nades you threw on top of me, just, man, again and again and again. But it's been good. This is the first time I feel like I've just been really pressured and tilted. It's going his way right now. But yo, I still got more, and I'm gonna give him my best. You know?
What about you?
Dude, they've been close fights. First one, you know, was a tricky window shot. Second one, you know, he got me at like under 10 health, something like that. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a PC player. This guy's nuts. He was shooting me through the windows, everything. I was like, dude, I'm definitely dead. And I kept getting chests. I got like slurps and everything to keep me alive. So then the third one, you know, it was tricky. We were in Nick's towers, and I had a couple gas grenades, you know, to make him move around. So we're having good fights, man. We got 2 more games. I'm sure we'll meet each other again.
My towers today, but hey, I'm gonna try to take them back. All right, I'm trying to take them back. Yo, I hit you for 500, man. I'm telling you, I counted it. I'm no mathematician, but I got him for 500. He just kept staying alive, man.
So I mean, is it fair to say you guys are gonna keep landing tilted? I mean, yeah.
We already know it, man. Yeah.
All right, so who do you? We got 2 more games. So I mean, is it going to be you two? Is it going to be you two? Is it going to be 1-1? What do you guys think?
Dude, truly, man, these fights are long. There's a lot of ins and outs. I guess it's just who plays better, who's quicker to the punch. He loves it. He's really aggressive, you know. But if he falls into my trap, it should work, you know.
What about you?
I think he's going to get me a game. I like to just, you know, get the mats quick and just rush him before he can get what he likes. And yeah, I'm gonna just keep putting the pressure on him.
I mean, and the final question I want to ask you guys are playing on controller, and you guys are showing up everyone. Do you guys have any tips, any words you'd like to say?
No, man, I'm super happy to be here. I feel that it's a very unique and cool thing that him and I get to compete against PC guys and stuff and kind of put on for an entire community that I know I care a lot about. I'm sure you do as well. And you know, we're both doing very well today, especially you. Just keep on carrying the torch, and thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, it's an honor to be here as well. You know, we're doubted as console players, so to come in here and compete and, you know, play so high, it's awesome. And to meet Nick, it's awesome, man, having some good controller players in here.
Fantastic, gentlemen. Best of luck to you guys going forward. Courage, Lupo, back to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, live in the venue, could we make some noise for those 2 great competitors here?
People have been going
Absolutely.
nuts every single time they run into each other. They even threw together a quick like round 3 fight graphic for the screen, which was awesome to see that. Honestly, like Nick said, we've got 2 games left. I have a feeling he's going to turn it back into Nick Towers at some point, my friend.
Right.
The fam will be very proud when it happens.
Oh, you know, they roll deep out there online. What a day it has been so far. I know everyone's talking about the ending of that last game. What a funny moment. But either way, I think we should have the standings updates for you guys here very, very soon. So actually, first, this is a good little TV, little technique right here. Standings right after this. Quick break. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the continued coverage of the grand final of Fortnite Summer Skirmish. My name is Jack Courage Delnop, and I'm joined by none other than the wonderful Dr. Lupo. We have played 4 of our 6 games, and so far, things have been crazy.
We've seen some insanity, Jack, and we got 2 games left. It's not even close to done yet.
Yes.
$1.5 million on the line. Players starting to establish pretty significant leads in terms of points, even eliminations. We've seen aggressive gameplay. We've seen people playing very secure. We've seen, honestly, some of the fastest edits and replacements of materials to just make windows and take shots at people that I've ever seen.
Yep.
The number of players that we've seen people flying now, which is insanity. And I mean, this is Fortnite. This is one of the things that drives excitement for a lot of players is just how aggressive people can play a game that is so open to so many players. I feel like everybody plays it.
No,
everybody plays it.
For sure. Everyone knows what it is. Everyone plays it now. It's a quick update for you all at home. I know that last game was absolutely crazy from top to bottom. We have some a little message to share. So all Fortnite competitions are played on a live server environment. Players' last game were in an anti-gravity zone. The anti-gravity zones have been disabled for the rest of the competition today. So in games 5 and 6, we won't be flying around nearly as much.
It was exciting to watch. Don't get me wrong. And we both kind of didn't know what you threw a card in the air. And
no one got hit by it.
Exactly. No one. Not even remotely. Can't prove it. It's not anywhere on the internet. But for the following 2 games, the last 2, Game 5, Game 6, that stuff, like you said, it's off.
On the ground.
Jack, you'd said before, stick around till after the break for the standings. Well, guess what? We've got them.
Boom.
Let's take a look.
Let's see where we stack up after 4 games. Morgoss in that beautiful top spot. 12 elims, 8 points, feeling darn good. Tendon's last game, though, with the elims, which was nuts. And then you see Liquid Poach actually moving to that 4th spot.
Now, Morgoss, like you said, the leader there with 8 points, but there's a number of players very close on his tail. We have a ton of people here with 3 or more, even 2. Boyer down there in the 16th slot. A lot of high elimination count. We already have multiple players, 4 players with double-digit eliminations, but that's not all. Here's your 17th through 32nd. Tons of players. We've seen Kayun putting on a good show, taking out a lot of big-name players, people you've seen all over the place in Summer Skirmish the prior 7 weeks, even the last 3 days, and he's starting to assert some dominance. Punisher here starting 33rd. And all these players, it is terrifying to see the list of names here. And you have to remember, too, we've seen already multiple people in the grand finals drop 6 points in a single match. That means, I mean, the leader's at 8. Anybody can catch up. Anybody, nobody's safe. It's absolutely crazy.
$1.5 million on the line, 21st through 100th. All take home $5,000. So the top 20 obviously see that leap in prize money. That's going to be kind of our thing we look at. Another thing to keep in mind, a Victory Royale is $25,000. I saw Cypher actually tweet out and say that was a $25,000 trap elimination. And that's exactly what it was.
It's absolutely wild. Now we're just getting word in. There's actually an additional change on top of what Courage mentioned earlier. The anti-gravity zones being disabled. Are you strapped in?
Ladies and gentlemen, do we want another announcement? I think we could give another announcement to the folks at home. We are adding a 7th game to today now, so everything stands and we get even more Fortnite action. The day keeps on going, and the 7th game will also have the additional $25,000 prize for Victory Royale.
The insanity
so this day
of the
just keeps getting better and better,
not done
folks.
yet, Jack.
I'm loving this right now. I might miss my flight later. I don't even care. Let's keep having a good time.
3 games left now. We're going to roll into game 5 before too long here. But 3 games. That's, like you said, an additional $25,000.
Yep.
I think anybody that might have been confused, thrown off by the players flying through the air,
like we were.
I mean, you saw it on our faces. That was crazy. They get another shot. Game 7 is going to come up at the end of today. What a way to go out today, too, man.
I'm loving this, man. The storylines keep building. The interview with Aiden and Nick Merckx was hysterical. A lot of respect from them.
It's a rivalry you love to see. Everybody here loves to see it, too, right? Can we make some noise for these gentlemen?
They've been getting into it as well. It's been awesome to watch. Definitely becoming fan favorites. Players making a name for themselves. This is absolutely the biggest spectacle at PAX West this weekend. A fully at capacity Fortnite booth with the grand finals of the Summer Skirmish. obviously, this is like just the beginning for Fortnite competition and what's to come. I can't wait for more announcements. Obviously, Season 6 right on the horizon. Everyone wondering what's happening with the Cube. You've got the new limited time mode coming out next week. High stakes, all the new skins. It's a darn good time to be a fan of Fortnite, I can tell you that much.
Jack, from one friend to another, if you don't put up a good grappler montage clip, literally the day that you get home and play, first game, literally first game, I'm going to remove you from my friends list. I'm sorry.
Well, all right. No.
I won't
Please
really.
don't do
I would never do that. Are you kidding me?
I'll yell at the end of it, and it'll be uploaded to all social media. So
of course, absolutely.
That's the only way you play
It's what you do.
Yeah, that's literally my job. We are getting into Game 5 here very, very soon. Appreciate your patience as we got all things sorted. As you can imagine, after last game, some people wanted to have some chats about
exactly
what occurred, but there's all our players now. They've been told there's a 7th game. There's another $25,000 up for grabs, the Victory Royale. Everyone loading on in. Nick Merckx getting the headset ready as the crowd gets behind him. Top boy there on your screen.
Nate Hill right next to him. All these players, it's so many people to keep your eyes on. There are a number of players too that we've discussed multiple times that were stars for the qualifiers before this. We have not seen put up a big show per game yet. We've got 4 games down, 3 remaining though, which means it's still anybody's game.
Yeah,
we can see multiple 6-point games still, as we've already seen in the first 4 matches. We've seen some crazy plays, some really good shots from players, some predicting the way that other players are going to play, the movements they're going to make. I love seeing that kind of stuff come out.
Yep. And I believe we're going to get a quick reset on the lobby as one player wasn't connected. So we'll go ahead and get that all sorted before we hop into Game 5. A lot of people talking after that last game about everything that obviously went on. Hashtag Summer Skirmish online. Just crazy to see just how many people are watching this. I mean, you mentioned to me some figures of people who were tuned into streams.
Over 700,000, I think, on Twitch alone, and that's not the only place it's being broadcast. It's incredible.
It's a lot of people.
Incredible.
That is a lot of people.
A few, yeah.
For everyone during the break, one funny moment that happened was, if you missed it, I threw my card and actually hit wonderful lady.
Did not actually.
In the back of the head here. She's not suing me. I did give her a bunch of exclusive PAX codes for the spray in game, but funny moments like that. I think it was between the anti-gravity and that, we had a lot to talk about during that break, so it went by pretty quick.
It did indeed. And you have to remember, if you're here at PAX West, if you're in Seattle even, Jack might have mentioned earlier, it feels like the place is packed to the brim, but please, make your way on down here. We have 3 games left, and you don't want to miss a second of what's happened so far today. Fortnite they're setting the standard for events like this, and Summer Skirmish, I feel like, is only going to be the beginning of what's to come. I'm sure Epic has all sorts of shenanigans up their sleeve. The competitive scene is only getting started.
100%. We've
got all sorts of, like you said, we've got a new mode coming down the pipe here. This is only the beginning too. We've seen a trend from them even at events like this, like PAX and everything before this. We saw the Pro-Am at E3 was outside in a stadium.
Yep.
This is only the beginning. There's so much more to come.
No, for sure. And it gets me excited just to think about the future. Either way, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but to look back at our games so far, we mentioned how every break of these games, we can basically just wind up seeing exactly these same players fighting because they're all landing at the same areas for the most part. You know, we were looking at Aiden and Nick fighting in Tilted, Cryomi as well as Saf fighting at the top of Viking Village, Hysteria getting into engagements down in Greasy. Now going into what's going to be the 5th game that these guys have played against each other, it's getting to a point where you can almost land and know, okay, this guy's going to push me from this area in the next 15, 20 seconds. This guy's going to be in this building. I'm wondering if we see any strategies change now to kind of make it so they can potentially get the drop on their opponent that lands near them in their drop zone.
Well, some of them, like you said, I mean, Aiden and Nick Merckx, we'll use as an example. It's been a spot, like a highlight moment every single game thus far. And Aiden, the 3 of the 4 games so far, there you see him on the screen right there. Both very, very kind to each other in that little interview. But I'm sure Aiden is thinking, yeah, right now I own Tilted Towers.
Yeah.
Nick, I dare you to come back here. And that kind of confidence, that's going to help him. Whether it's accuracy or positioning, he's got, well, seemingly he's got it all so far. The window peaks, everything he's doing. He even at one point he said, "This has got to be a PC player that I'm playing against." And lo and behold, no, it's Nick Merckx, another one of the best controller players we've ever seen. And whether he's losing the Aiden in these engagements or not, the fact that they're still fighting for that long, they're disengaging and re-engaging those choices. I think that establishes that win or lose in that 1v1. he's putting on a good show.
Yep.
He's very aware of what's going on. I mean, there's going to be an outplay from him soon, I guarantee it.
I think that kind of sums up Tilted perfectly, right? Like, there's so much already established building there that they're just navigating in and out of these corridors, using sound to their advantage, making sure they can kind of catch their opponents off guard, hide behind a wall, third-person perspective. Either way, it shows just how much these guys land there. They've been the big talk of the town so far. Nick Merckx giving fist bumps to everyone around him. Definitely someone who likes to promote so much positivity in the community, which is great to see. The other big names here so far today, right now in that 4th spot we saw in the standings, was actually Liquid Poach. He's the highest in the standings right now who don't have a Victory Royale. Who doesn't have a Victory Royale? So the 3 above him all have actually won a game. Landjock, who is our other player who's won, is lower on the standings. But Poach showing just how quality of a player he is, Lupo, to be that high up without having a victory yet.
Now, I'm looking forward to see players that dropped like 10+ eliminations in a single game. Animal Tylers, I want to see them show up and play that aggressive gameplay that they've played in the past. There's a chance that maybe right now we've been through 4 games, and maybe before this they were playing a little timid in comparison to what they had done during the qualifiers. It could be the pressure. All these people watching and the number of players that are around them that are extremely competitive. Speaking of competitive players around them, the drop is coming soon, Courage. Are you ready for Game 5?
We go. Quick little break, a little reset. We've added another game. We've seen all sorts of stuff. Game 5 is here. The bus has taken off. Remember, each Victory Royale, $25,000 in the bank in prize money. Let's get into the action.
Southwest to the far east, going to fly past Lonely Lodge there. You'll see a couple of the Liquid players, pretty well known for going Wailing Woods. They'll wait till a late drop. You've got in your bottom right there Nate Hill from Faze flying in. He's looking towards Fatal Fields. But pretty much everybody, like we've seen, consistent spread. Not a whole lot of engagements. Like not a whole lot. There's no more than like 5 or 6 players in a single location. Even less than that, typically. Retail has a handful there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks like at Tilted. 2 players laying on the south side there. This is back over the Fatal Field to see. Running around. Nate's going to try and get this. This is an outside of Fatal drop. Full shield, a good pickup early. He's got an AR, some bandages. Nothing. I was literally about to say nothing up close. Picks up an SMG. A decent kit early. You'd want to look for a shotgun, but I'd like to point out, Jack, that the anti-grav shield, the bubble is there visually, but just so everybody's aware, the effect itself has been disabled, like we said. So don't worry about the fact that you can see the bubble. Again, it's not engaged right now.
Now I just want to go home and fly around the map.
I do. turn that into a thing.
Either way, here's Ranger, who's got a tactical shotgun and a rocket launcher. Interesting loadout off the break. I think he realizes that as well. When you have the rockets, it's so key to get that high ground established right away. Rockets so much more lethal when you can obviously shoot down onto your opponent with them. This is Saint, who continually lands near this Greasy Grove area. From my experience in previous Summer Skirmishes, no, he's been clingered. Remember, clingers do flat 100 damage, so thankfully the shields will save him, but he's got to try to disengage, and he only has 2 builds. This looks like it's going to be a disaster for him.
Looks like he got potentially a little distracted by looking for Nice down underneath, and Bowman took it. Yeah, it was Bowman from the backside coming up from the south, chucked that clinger. Well, Bowman now focuses on Nice inside the building.
And another!
Player 4 is into the match. Bowman very low here. He's tossing the remote explosives. Maybe take an opportunity to pop that med kit. You're not going to have another time to do it. Gets the mini, a faster use, so the mini is going to take priority. He wants to get any buffer he can. Tyler's in the feed, by the way, getting an elimination in there, but Bowman gets that mini use off. Crashy, the player pushing up here.
Oh, Nice with the elim on Bowman. Crashy's got to follow this up quick because, I mean, look at the health he has right now. 200 HP. That was his last build. He's got a great swap combination between that heavy shotgun and the drum gun, which still has a full clip, and there's all sorts of loot down low.
Saint dropped the rocket inside through the building, explodes.
Oh.
Nice. So now this is from the outside. So Crashy may not realize if that was Saint from up top on the hill. The player inside, he knows is gone now, but he's got to try and figure out where it came from. Saint sliding down for a little bit of fall damage there. This is Aiden back in Tilted Towers. Look at his first elimination. Catches Kairos off guard. Both dropping on top of the big red apartment building. Comes away with a purple AR too, which is really good pickup. But it doesn't even matter. Look, he already has a gold AR. He's going to push inside with his chest. And the hope for shield. And I think he just pulled one right there before it got away.
It's interesting. This is probably the first game where Nick has actually reached max shield before Aiden. I think Aiden will catch up, though, here soon.
Ecstatic, the typical third party in Tilted. Here's your leaderboard for right now. Aiden with an elimination there. Hopefully gets sorted by elimination count. Morgas, though, you see the score. This is your leaderboard sorted by score on the far right side. Morgas was at 8, Blind in second place at 6, Nate Hill, Aiden, Bizzle, and Saf rounding out that top 6.
Already 500 material. Such a good
med. 3 remote explosives. He's got a swap weapon and upgrades his shotgun.
And just for everyone at home, when we say swap weapon, we're talking about the submachine gun. So you can take the pump shotgun shot, and then because there's that delay before you can fire the second shot, instead you swap to a spray weapon, whether it's an SMG, a drum gun. Some people even just use an assault rifle.
That's all you have. You know, you got to take the opportunity. The reason being, during that like cooldown period after you took a shot, you see it. Swaps
it's a 96
off, and now he's
tag
bang.
right there.
The FPS knowing exactly how to utilize that timing, basically the right amount of AR spray, and then swap back to the shotgun to try and go for another shot. Shotguns hit so hard up close. In these up close fights, every single point of damage matters. If he's accurate, he's in the right amount. He's the right range away before damage drop off takes over. The timing on that can be key. It could be the difference between a one shot and maybe your opponent spraying you down while you're trying to get the shotgun shot off.
The FPS is, instead of building himself, he's just going to reset to the high ground. And he's dodging these clingers, so it looks like he's kind of read his opponent perfectly. Alpha Amons just inside the build and brick. And look, he's shaking his head. You can see in that camera, frustrated with the position he's in right now. Not a lot of health, very exposed, and the FPS is maxed on HP. And he's going to match the build right now. I think the end might be near for Alpha here soon.
Alpha pushing up, gets the top down on him, trying to get the jump shotgun shot. FPS kind of layering away. He's got multiple layers there, basically right at the perfect spot to lay a floor, back up a step, lay another floor. So there's multiple wood platforms being Alpha Amons deciding to go for it. He's trying to get the top down. He's got to hit big shots here. It's 100 HP, 100 shield on his opponent below him.
It's almost to a point where like Alpha has to hit like a snipe headshot or something. A ridiculous scenario he finds himself in. The FPS just rotating all around, bouncing. Looking for that perfect... It's also a thing where if you're the FPS, if you're wondering why he's kind of playing this slow, yes, he doesn't have the high ground, but he almost doesn't want to take any damage either. Right? He knows he's got a heavy advantage, but he's looking to just get that perfect opportunity. Now might be his chance. It might just be time to spray this player down, shoot that top left structure, and it might all fall.
He's got it looks like there's 2 connected points. If he goes for it, which is exactly what he's going to do, he's got that the arch, the half arch is all that's holding it up, and here it comes. Alpha's got to drop down and save himself with a build. Lands on top of the building, just barely got down fast enough to not take any fall damage, but he's still basically one shot at this point. One pump shot is going to be all it takes. Bush catches him in the corner, and there it is. First elimination for the FPS. An excellent set of plays there. Choosing just the right time to push.
Here's another side of the map. Gripmate. Not much useful weaponry in his inventory. What?
An 82.
I take back everything I've ever said.
Catches Landjock, our first winner off guard there at the Kata. Right here in shifty shafts, jump around trying to get the top down on his opponent, drops in and a big hit, 2 HP left for crashing. He does have a med kit and minis, so he's still, you know, give him 20 seconds. He's back to 150.
No, Fade went to drop the porta-fort and it actually spawned above him, so he wasn't safe. It's so key when using those porta-forts, especially on uneven ground, that you jump as you activate it, so you land above the layer of the porta-fort. Here's Aiden at only at 100 HP. Seems like he's been tagged up quite a little bit. Who's nearby? Nibs is nearby. Marksman's nearby. Ecstatic is here. No idea if Nick Merckx is still in this game or not. We'll have to get you guys an update on that.
It looked like he might have still been inside the big gray tower that he tends to. If it's anybody in there, it's going to be Nick. But once we can see that, we'll let you know. But this might be the busiest Tilted we've seen in quite a while. And this is the first time I think we've seen Aiden decided to back out. Maybe too many people. His loadout, though, no shield, not a whole lot of materials, but a gold AR, a gold heavy shotgun.
Yep.
Train here. Wonder if he's going to try and hit a big deagle shot on this. The purple hand cannon. Top boy dropping down. Looks like he got an elimination on blue tee in the feed there.
He's got a revolver, as you know, from the most recent developer update. That'll soon be vaulted here in Fortnite. So, paying a little homage to our soon-to-be lost friend. Chris is just going to run away from that fight. What is this end? What is this zone? What is this zone? Literally half of it is out of play. And that's a mountain right there too, Lupo. That's one of the tallest mountains in the game, right above Flush Factory.
You see somebody hanging out way north, way outside the zone.
Nick is still alive.
Nick is still alive.
0 limbs yet, just playing very passively. Nibs is running out. Everyone's fanning on out of here.
Nick's Towers. Make the MFM proud, Nick. He's got to try and he just kind of needs to buy his time. He's got 55 seconds. He doesn't necessarily have to rotate just yet, and he knows. Look, Ecstatic doing it, literally what we saw him do last match for just a second there. We cut to him, and he wasn't even moving, just standing still, trying to listen, wait for these players to kind of engage each other. He doesn't want to get involved in any of this. Leaderboard being high on his list of things to go after, so I don't blame him in the slightest. Nick deciding he heard some shots. Might be time. Gonna drop some grenades in there, hoping for a single or a double. Ecstatic goes down. We still have 2 players in there. X's looks like he eliminated Ecstatic. Grenades don't catch any damage. Looking for maybe even just a damage number. Even if you're not on top of it, you'll see the number pop up when you get a hit with it.
He's gonna have to make a decision soon. I was about to say he's either got to move or he's got to push this, and I think he's gonna do the latter. Here he goes. Nick Merckx now moving on in. Here's a ton of shots going down, expecting players to be weak. He wants to play this high ground. Sees one inside. Can't get a tag on the player. One off to his right at double L's as well. Nick obviously doesn't know exactly where Exis is with that little HP. There's a 3rd player as well down here too. I think this is Envy Gorilla, I believe at least.
It's a shotgun shot off on him. Looks like it was still shield damage. He's going to know that his opponent still has some sort of defense there.
He has the weaponry for this. Between the drum gun, the blue pump shotgun, the rare pump shotgun, but he's going to go ahead and fall back for now.
He just ran out of explode ammo too, so he's got nothing left in that grenade launcher. Maybe 3 or 4 more explode ammo. He could have just kept dropping them in there, kind of expose.
And I can tell you, Nick isn't happy to be leaving Tilted at 0 limbs. This is the first game where him and Aiden, I think, both leave Tilted without a single elimination.
Jamonk and Faze out here trying to rotate. Looks like southeast. He's going up the ramp. This ramp already built, so he didn't have to waste a whole lot of materials. It's a good option to, especially in competitive games like this. You don't want to burn through a ton of resources. You're gonna, in the future, if you plan on going for late game, you're gonna get caught up close next to somebody and have to most likely take advantage of turbo build. Try and keep a layered defense between you and your opponent. You need all the materials you can get. Look at Cease here. 650 wood, 770 brick, 140 metal. He's sitting on a ton of materials.
And he's actually in a little build engagement with Morgoth, who, if you remember, is our 1st place player up to this point. Quick update on the actual eliminations this game. Animal, who's one of the 2 players this week with a 10+ elim game for the victory, actually has 4 elims so far, and still a ton of players left.
A handful of players still alive, too. We have Top Boy, Gorilla, Morgas, Rio, Struggs, Tokata, and Tyler's, who are all sitting at 2 eliminations apiece, which means one more for each one of them is a point for this game. And every single point counts. It could be the difference between you know, the 21st through 100 placement prize of 5,000. You got to remember, everybody comes away with 5,000 if they made it to the grand finals, which is huge. But a single point could push you up in the top 20, and that could be massive. A lasering Takata establishes his...
Animal, who actually got that elim. That's now 5 for him. 2-point game for Animal.
Nibs Saf gets the FPS and the feed there.
Oh, it's Nick Merckx out of the zone.
Literally immediately clapping here at PAX for Nick. Mars City's eliminated by the storm there in the feed, you see. It's kind of a stalemate here at the edge of the circle. Movement's going to happen before too long, and both of these players are established in their little box. They have 1:20. You have plenty of time to make a decision. Nick could drop his campfire too. This is Tyler's and Triz back in the bottom floor, tilted, hanging outside the zone, trying to just peek for that quick shot, and he gets Triz through the top window of that door.
He was so far into the zone still. Over to Rio now, spraying that LMG, swapping the Scar, and whoa. Gets the 1 bullet to connect. That's all he needed. Knew he was weak.
And that's 3 eliminations for Rio, which gives him a point for this game.
And Asteria is still in this. And I can tell you, Asteria landing greasy. Has been very happy to see the zone since we swapped off. Nicky got tagged and look at Eman. Back-to-back elims, but then Aiden actually cuts him down. So Aiden and Nick each now with a limb on the board.
Aiden actually has 2 right now. He's 1 away from picking up another point for the day. That'd be Aiden's 4th point. Rex is hanging out in his own. There's a little box over there.
That's
the clingers. See the clingers flying over the top of Nick.
No help from his AR right there, not getting any connects. Gosh, I can tell you right now, Nick wishes he had some splodes left from his time in Tilted to be able to use. And that's a brilliant wall. That wall's going to block out the sight line of the player in that build just next to him, so you can put some pop shots down on this player who's trying to run away from the zone. Nick will have to move forward, and that's when this is going to get absolutely awkward for him. Expect the player up top to probably prioritize Nick here.
Got a couple of trees as natural cover, some structure that was built by somebody else, but I think he just saw it. Looks like there was like a window peak to a southwest 240 up there. Somebody might have edited a hole out and try and take shots at him as he's rotating, and he covered himself.
This zone is absurd.
It is. This is it. What would you say? Like 40% of it is over the water right now. This is Aiden's second elimination. Right on the coast right here, Caps as a player. It's Emad. We watched that just a second ago. We commented on Emad establishing a double there on
and so that was Emad who got a double, but then he eliminated Emad, meaning 3 players worth of loot was there. So now he's added a ton of materials, shields, and a legendary compact SMG to his inventory.
I don't think Aiden picks it up unless it's legendary at this point.
Apparently,
that kid is insane.
It's like everything that gets dropped in front of him upgrades out of the person's inventory.
Multiple players underneath and making quite a bit of noise.
Just eliminated his teammate Brandon.
Tempo going for a fast out of the side window there.
Aiden with another elimination. I believe that will put him at 3, right? Making him another game with another point. He's been so consistent with that so far today.
Kayun just got elimination in the feed, but Top Boy takes him out. We have players countering players, and this is all very much on the coast. Imagine somebody sliding down to try and be on the outside edge. We'll see, depending on this next circle, there's going to be time to move relatively soon. We got 5 seconds before this finishes. Flush Factory still has a ton. The top of the hill, like you said, one of the tallest hills in the game. There's going to be a lot of players at the top down, and here we go. Flush Factory has to move out. North side has to move out. All these players are looking at right now. It's time to move.
Here are those clingers. Way earlier on. That was Crunch who got the pitch on the sap. But this next zone, half of it is on one of the tallest mountains in the game. The other is on one of the lowest valleys. So high ground going to be everything here. Here comes a nice little build engagement. Cease dropping down the remote explosive, but gets shot in the back. He tunnel visions on replays and pays the ultimate price.
C4 is still sitting up top, so you got to be careful that nobody else maybe notices that and shoots it if you're moving over the top of it. But Aiden here, very top corner, top of the map, edge of the map. He's looking for an edit down on his opponent.
He knows that this player has the double barrel. It's got a unique sound effect, which is so key to listen out for. Bolt Naga also has the Rift to Go in his inventory. Maybe in a panic position. He could use that to actually, he might use that here to get the high ground on the top part of the mountain.
We'll put him basically all the way up there.
They have to move in 30 seconds.
There you go, Bolt hiding underneath is the player we were just talking about. Aiden's going to keep watching for him and listening while engaging other players. This is basically taking 2 fights at once, and I think the idea is maybe you can pull an elim from at least one of them while somebody's rotating. Everybody's in front of him or underneath him at this point.
Yep.
So he knows he's not going to get caught off guard from the back. He's not going to get caught tunnel visioning from any of them. But the top of that hill, Courage, they have vision on literally everything.
This is Cease from earlier on. Saw it. Brandon building on up it. Whiffs the hunting rifle shot, but thankfully for him, Brandon gets quickly cut down, and then I think there was a second player here.
I believe that's Morgoss hiding underneath him. Earlier when he take the shot. Also, the same hunting rifle shot, just barely missing again. One of those is going to pay out, but he clips Morgoss on the rotation. Just over the build, too.
Here's Asteria, 0 elims so far. Nick Merckx just eliminated Tempo.
That puts Nick Merckx at 4 elims. That's at least 1 point. He has 1 more elim and put him at 5. Asteria lasers down Aiden.
And look, Aiden got a little scared by that. Nick now at 4 elims. Has a point on the board. Nick's got a ton of family here this weekend. It's funny, keeping an eye on his dad every time Nick gets in a fight. I got eyes on him. And he's listening to Neo, actually, someone who, you know, from Nick's streams, they game a lot together. Neo's telling him every little bit that's going on, making sure he knows exactly where he stands. He got blessed by this next zone, too.
Nick, though, only 49 woods. He's got 4 builds total. It's a Cease from earlier who was just putting on an excellent show. But Nate Hill, look at this, hiding in the shadows up here and takes shots at Cease. The tunnel vision kind of caught Cease off guard there. Nate Hill took advantage of it. I think Merckx, like I said, 4 elims, 3 builds left right now.
He can stay hidden here for so long, though.
I mean, he's inside the safe zone.
Yep. Look, he's like a ghost. people are just not even going to think of him being down here.
Hiding in the shadow, too. Players that even rotate past might not see him hiding. He's
Yep.
got... This is actually, it's an excellent spot for him to be in. Bizzle on the rotation. See player. This might be the most spread we've seen the field for in quite a while.
I think a lot of it's the verticality of the mountain. Look at how awkward this is, trying to build on up. I love this camera shot right here. Great stuff production.
Sean was catching Kuros on the rotation up the stairs off guard. He's hiding in like a little side chamber there. Time for Bizzle from Ghost Gaming to move up as well. A lot of these players, they're going to decide when to rotate. And it looks like more players are going earlier than we've seen in the past. Oftentimes, we see a lot of players deciding to wait till the last second. But it's because, like you said, the verticality is deciding that right now you need to move. Because not only do you have to build forward, you got to build up.
Unfortunately, you can't use your pickaxe to break down the entire mountain. So players have to move early. Ghost Bizzle doing just that, moving towards the zone. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes it into the zone and immediately just boxes on up. Yep, there you go. He's trying to make it close enough. Needs to get right around this corner, and now he's good. Time to box. Ooh, he does take a heavy amount of damage, though, before he's able to get the wall down.
Start building those chambers out. Shots are coming out, though. Somebody's trying to challenge this little set of boxes he's building. He's still getting shot from the side.
And the reason they're even spraying him even more is his build auto-switched from brick to metal, which is a sign that he's out of brick, which makes you think if he's having to use metal now, he's probably very low on materials. Tfue still in this game as well, alongside Geomok.
Replays and Sinful caught at the bottom. This is going to be a fight to stay ahead of the Storm and ahead of their opponent.
I feel like both of them are going to get eliminated right here.
So Nick Merckx sitting in 4 of them. Is going, maybe looking for his 5th right now, listening. He doesn't have any builds left, so he's chasing. He's going to spray the wall down and catch his Rex inside his own box. That's 2 points for Nick Merckx. Top 20 left. He makes it to top 10. That's another point soon. He does have, and he's got a med kit.
That was a smart play from Nick. He goes to pick up the opponent's grenade launcher. He had 0 ammo in his grenade launcher, but Nick was hoping that if he picked up the other grenade launcher there, that there might have been some ammo still left in the clip. Unfortunately for him, there was none, but a sign of a smart player. As, oh my goodness, Hysteria, if he gets sneezed on right now, I think he's eliminated from this one. I think if Nick flexes his traps, Hysteria's character would get eliminated here.
Bizzle moving up, trying to get in an advanced spot up this hill. He doesn't want to get caught off guard outside the zone. You see he's already rotating towards the east side of the circle. He saw the fact that, yeah, that's the side he's going to have to go to. The next circle, it's a full movement. Everybody's got to relocate. You got to get ahead of the zone if you want to move and stay alive.
So like every time he pushes out and makes another one of those like little 1x1s, he's burning through 60 material, and he's only got 200 something left. So that's all going away quick. Strug, someone we saw earlier on. We got an interview with him after he had a big performance earlier in the week. Here comes the zone move. Rio launch pads up to the high ground. Nick Merckx having to go bounce pad time as he's going to try to keep up with the zone. Oh, he's going all the way to the low ground with barely any builds left.
Nick's on 6 eliminations right now. By the way, 1 more would put him at 7. That's 3 points. He's got 2 points already from this game.
Rio in the fight. Sean trades out that elim. You see Strug's now down. Nate Hill still in this one as well. Nick Merckx with another elimination on Base Soldier. I think that puts Nick at 7 eliminations. 3-point game for Nick Merckx, as this is going to move him way up the scoreboard now.
Game now.
Another elimination from Nick. That's Tfue down. A statement game from Nick Merckx, and he's got medkits to use. Nick Merckx can win this game.
Heavy, super low HP. You've got a whole ton of players above him, and he's sitting pretty down at the bottom. He might have the ability to rotate along the edge of the storm. You see where the location on the mini-map, it's going to carry all the way along the base, and he catches somebody on the way down. He's trying to go for materials. Elim number 9.
He needs these materials.
Every elimination from here on out is icing on the cake. He's going to push for.
He's got a little bit.
He's got 7 builds left.
Player's just inside. He doesn't realize he's to his left. Nick can only build 7 walls. He's already earned himself 4 points this game.
He's got to save those for moving up the hill. He can't waste too much of them right here. Luckily, he's got a little bit of defense here. Somebody already built wood. He's got to move up, though. He can't stay down on the bottom because he's about to be outside the zone. Now's the time, Nick. You got to move.
Oh, no.
Get inside. Get inside. Here we go.
He's in.
Solid play. Excellent job staying inside, but he's got players all over him.
No! Nick Merckx slides down the mountain. No builds left. It's over.
5 players left alive right now.
In 72 hours.
Nate Hill, Mac, Povsey. Top 5 situation.
Nate Hill already in a brilliant position. Spot 72 hours. That's a free elim, which gives him another point. Remember, if he makes it to the top 3, he earns another. Nate Hill, who is already in our top 5, might be making a move up the leaderboards, folks. 4 players left. He's got no builds, so he's got to use whatever he can for cover. Look at the height difference Mac has done. That's top 3. Another point earned for our remaining players. Povesy's got no builds left, so he's going to get dropped on down.
He's got a player right underneath him. Bolt all the way up top. Looking down Nate Hill. This 1v1 situation. Nate Hill still left alive, and Bolt's got the top down on everybody. He might even have an opportunity. He's layering up. He's going for a heal off.
He can't drop, though. He might be able to fall down to that next level, but if Nate's able to heal on up a little bit, I'm not sure exactly what Nate has. He can maybe shoot him down.
Right now is the perfect time for him to just hang out up top. He's at 95, which means he can start the med kit before the zone closes all the way. He doesn't have to push for the elimination on Nate.
There's 5 seconds left. Nate's going to have to try to spray down whatever he can. Bolt Naga can build out one more structure. He's got 0 elims this game. He's been playing for the Victory Royale. He's got a med kit he can heal with.
You see position. He's about to position himself on the line. The seam between the two.
Nate's got to keep spraying. Nate has to keep spraying. He cannot let this go to a heal off. He knows it as well. He's got to keep spraying. Nate, the game potentially slipping out of his hands. He needs to keep spraying the structure above. Nope, he's not going to be able to out-heal him. This one's done. He's not going to be able to out-heal. He does not have a med kit. This should be a heal-off in favor of Bolt Naga. It's going to come down to the wire. Nate spraying, doing whatever he can, but it's not enough.
0 eliminations, by the way. But the Victory Royale,
the
$25,000 richer.
God,
because
that's
he
some
played,
good YouTube clickbait.
He played smarter than anybody else. Waited until the very last second and got the heal off. See Nate a little disappointed in the fact that he got caught off guard. No builds left underneath. He had to just try and spray down, and even a little amount of metal that he had left was enough for Bolt to secure just the platform he was standing on and get himself a Victory
That's
Royale.
the name of the game right there.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
It's a BR. Victory Royale is something everyone wants to achieve. That's 3 points, 0 limbs. It does not matter. He outlasted everyone in the lobby. Congratulations to him. You know, Nate's, I think, his window of opportunity, and it was awkward because the metal was just starting to build as he was trying to heal from that last fight. But once that metal finishes, from that range too with the damage fall, I mean, it takes so much to break through that structure.
Now, that, I believe, is Nate's second place on the day so far in these grand finals. But we should still feel good about it. I believe it's 7 points total for him, which, if my calculations are correct, is second place, which is insanity. And he still has 2 games left. We got Game 6 and the surprise Game 7 coming at you right after that.
I think we got some replays to look at as we get ready for the next lobby to start on up. Nick Merckx, big game from him. Got the 7 elims he needed. I believe he finished with 8.
He did indeed, and that's 3 points. Didn't make it, I believe, to the, actually, he did get top 10, so 4 points total from this game.
Yep.
See, the perfect time, catches Lene pushing up the ramp. So many different angles that players can be hiding in. Tracks one all the way down to the bottom, literally sitting on Poach as he tries to box Nick Merckx out, and it was not fast enough.
And this was the big moment for Nick to get him to a 2-point game. You push forward, drum gun in hand, you spray down the wall. And look at, from Nick's perspective, how low he was down on the ground. It's a good job. Base Soldier wasn't focused on him. Nick gets a free elim there in the final moments. No builds left. He knew it was done. He knew it was over, but he's got to be proud of that performance either way. Make it into the top 10 with 8 elims. That's the game Nick needed. One pop-off performance. Could be the difference in a $1.5 million tournament between $5 grand and maybe 25 grand. We'll see.
That's quite a bit of money, Jack.
It is quite a bit of money. Also from Ghost, we've talked so much about how great the organization is doing this weekend. Bizzle had some great performances in this game. Obviously, Game 5, still 2 more games to go.
I love seeing these cross sections from the side. You see all the layers coming out as these players progress across, and Bizzle is one that knows exactly the right time to take an advantage shot at somebody.
So I talked about all the great performances.
Did you just cast or curse a replay?
I did.
Courage?
I somehow figured out a way to cast or curse a replay.
You're hitting people with cards. Wow.
I'm never going to be hired back. It's okay. No, I'm just kidding. Please hire me back. Nate Hill from Faze Clan, their new pickup. He was the first in line for the qualifier heats back all the way on day 1, and now here playing on Sunday, or Monday, sorry.
Hiding from the shadows, the shots on Cease.
He had no mats for all this.
I think that situation, multiple opportunities here. He caught players in bad positions, but playing with no materials, like you said, he's a player that he'll use everything that he has or everything that he doesn't have.
See this moment right here?
Everything that he can.
It's
right
just,
there. Yeah, I think the option at this point was just to continue spraying. Granted, it's metal. It's going to take quite a while.
He had to reload. Look, so he took 3 extra ticks just to reload. I'm pretty sure if he doesn't try to heal and just reloads his drum gun and just sprays, he's at least got a better chance than that. Because obviously he knew at the end it was all over. Didn't have the med kit to out heal. Either way, what a day we've had so far. Fun from start to finish. The final day of PAX West. My first ever PAX, and I don't know how it'll be topped, but we actually, the player who won that last game without a single limb, Volt Naga Ops, on the floor with Zeke.
What's up, guys? Great cast. As always, I am joined by Naga Ops. Come on over, my friend. So you win a game, 3 points for the Victory Royale, and you take it to a heel-off against the likes of Nate Hill. You just won $25,000, dude. What are you feeling?
I was feeling really nervous and anxious, but I guess I'm pretty happy that I get some money in my pocket, but overall I'm pretty confident and happy about that game.
So now, what was your early to mid game look like?
Early game I dropped the villain lair and I just sat in a box and farmed up all game, and then eventually I got circle and I just played the high ground all game.
Now, so obviously toward the end of the game, you were sneaky snaking your way around, being super stealthy. Is that what you like to do, or you think you're going to change it up in these next games? Because you got 3 points now, right?
I like to be more aggressive. I think that playing more passive inside these type of games is probably the wisest play, but I feel like if you want to have fun and you actually want to get inside the heat, you can play like Nate Hill and play low ground warrior and just go shocking everybody.
Absolutely. Best of luck to you in the next few games. You got that extra one as well. Back to you guys on the desk.
$25,000 richer for that Victory Royale, and he got 0 limbs, but hey, it's the way of the game.
I literally see the YouTube video title already. $25,000 no elimination challenge completed.
I'm going to upload that to my channel.
It's not even going to be you playing, but you might as well put it up.
5 mid-rolls on it and have a blast. Ninja will be in the title too, but let's go ahead and get on over to our standings up to this point. There it is. Morgoth still in that top spot, but Nate Hill inching on up. But the big move coming on in, which there it is, 8th spot, Nick Merckx moving on up, earning himself that's a pretty good payday up to this point if he can hold that position.
Now keep in mind, like we saw Bolt, the winner from last game, only 5 eliminations on the day, but he's in 7th place right now based solely on the fact that he has more Victory Royales than Nick. They have the same, they all have the same point total all the way down 3 places past that too, but he got the victory. You have to remember, a no elimination victory he still made it through a field of 98 incredibly good players. It's nothing to gawk at that. He knew exactly what to do and he made the right place.
And here we go to the prizing now. Remember, top 20 begin to earn that extra amount of cash. Hysteria right now the odd man out on the 21st spot, but 21st to 100 still earn 5K, so everyone's a winner here, but 225K.
That's quite a bit more.
Sounds a little bit better in that first place position.
Keep in mind too, in addition to what you see on your screen right there, Victory Royale is worth $25,000. We've had 5 of those already, and Game 6 is not too far away. Jack, you see the players getting ready. Everyone's getting their hardware squared away, getting loaded into the game, and prepping for this. We have it's go time. It's go time, Jack.
It's time for match 6. Typically, this would be the end of today, but you know what? We've added a 7th game, as we mentioned earlier. Let's get into the action. The battle bus has taken on off. Our players are ready. Ladies and gentlemen in the crowd, are you ready for Game 6? You'll love to hear it. The energy has been incredible as we continue on through.
Here we go. Players dropping out already. Everybody looking for their landing zone. Junk Junction, an immediate drop point. Somebody's flying way out over the wall. They're about to cut back for a junk landing potentially. You see a lot of players. People typically avoiding places like Loot Lake. Like I said, fighting the water is not something that a lot of these players want to do. It requires